How's everybody doing? This is the Sunday Tapping, y'all. How's everybody doing? I'm that dude named Dave. This is TD&D Live, and I am here doing something a little different this weekend, guys. As you guys know, I pulled up on Saturday to talk more about Shannon Sharpe and Sinners Sanders, and this is Sunday, so we're gonna try to do these weekends as the Sunday Tap-In, the Sunday pull-up here. Now, I wanna be honest with you guys here as I do this intro here. I'm gonna try to do these videos midday early because I got things to do in the evening. And there's other content creators that I like to watch in the evening, things of that nature. So we're gonna try to make these early in the day, you know, midday, whatever the case may be. And then I'll let y'all to get to how y'all gonna get to y'all rest of y'all weekend, things of that nature. And I can do what I wanna do here. So salute to the family. B1 in the house. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, my brothers and sisters that are here representing for the lineage, that is here for the culture, my peoples. I am here with you. I rock with y'all. Like I say, I am TD&D, that dude named Dave. And there are so many ways that you can support the channel. We're gonna get this out the way. We're gonna get right into it, guys. So as you see in the ticker below, we have the Cash App, $ that dude named Dave. We also is a monetized channel here. So we got super chat, super thanks, super stickers, as well as the group membership so you guys can support us here. Because guys, these live streams don't pay for themselves here. This takes time, this takes effort, this takes away from my day here. So just a little bit to help to support the grind is much appreciated here. Also, guys, if you ain't got no money, you ain't got no dough, you can go in the description box below and support me in other ways, right? You know, so, you know, we're a brand affiliate with Temu here. So if you guys are looking for affordable products or specialty products here, you go in the description box below, download the Temu app because your first purchase, you get 30% off my affiliate link code. Then we got a $100 coupon bundle for any other purchase after that. Temu, 30% off your first download purchase from the app there, $100 coupons that goes on there. And if you're trying to be a content creator, try StreamYard here. This is how I'm broadcasting. I do my broadcasts here, right, guys? So check it out. If you go and see my channel here, you see we got north of 1,000 videos. You can go back to 2022 where I started off with StreamYard and you can see the beginning, the genesis, and you see how we look right now, guys. So if you're trying to be a content creator and you don't know where to get started, you don't know what kind of platform to use, click on the affiliate link in the description box for StreamYard. And if you're really serious about it, don't do the free version, guys. You gotta do the paid account to help your boy out here. So there's StreamYard, there's Temu. And also, if you guys got any questions, you wanna throw some show information on me here, you want me to react to certain videos, or you got questions, comments, whatever the case may be, my email is also in the description box below, that dude named Dave at gmail.com. Okay, guys, we got that out the way. Let me tap in to see who's in the chat, and then we're going to get this party started because I told y'all a little bit yesterday and as well as on Tuesday's live stream that as soon as I saw Sinners, we're going to do a talk about it here. So we're going to do that today. So let me go to the top of the screen here. We got Pooh Man here, the #1 mod in the game, talking about you can go ahead and from your mobile device, you become a member through the device. Thank you, Pooh Man, for dropping the link there. And just like that, also Pooh Man is dropping the link for the Cash App, guys, $ that dude named Dave. Goes a long way. We've been having conversations on Twitter/X, so that's what's up there. And also, you can follow me on IG, Instagram. Yeah, we getting it popping here. Joseph says, best movie. All right, y'all were commenting before I even got started. You guys were commenting before I got started. Clifton was the first one. He saw the movie yesterday, and then he said, so far, the weekend has only been an 8% drop from the first weekend. It's amazing. Yes, it is, Clifton. We're going to get into it some more here, okay? Let me scroll down, see who's in the chat here. Joseph says, wait, hold on. It's not overrated. It's just people can't believe it was made by a black man. It's one of the better horror movies in a long time, and that's why people are talking about it. Okay, let's see here. Said, Ren couldn't have said it better. The movie, Top Black Panther. We need more black everything. Let's push our visions. Okay. Salute to you, Derek. What's going on? Good to see you in the chat here as we just getting started here. Derek said, TNT Sports Talk, Sanders get picked by Cleveland anyway. We talked about that yesterday, Derek. I'm not going to get into the Cleveland Browns, Derek, and Sinners Sanders. I'm not saying might, there's a probably high probability that I will do a live on Monday. So we might talk about that tomorrow, man. But I'm not touching that today. We did talk about that yesterday. Haley Stanfield can spit in me anytime she wants. T. Orlando saw the movie. T. Orlando saw the movie. Okay, we're gonna talk. We may mention that Sunday. Yeah, what's going on, Lauren? Good to see you. Says hello to all. All right, Lauren's in the building. Who else we got here? TD&D movie review. Support black filmmakers except for Tyler Perry. His stuff is trash. Let me know how you really feel, Derek. Let me know how you really feel. T. Orlando says, Sinners is a banger. I want a smoke and stack prequel. Man, T. Orlando. Hey, T. Orlando. We'll talk about that in one moment. All right. Haven't seen it yet, but I've read about what it's about. Okay. I'm going to take the ticker off, guys. You guys know where you can get all the details at in the description box below here. I'm going to break this down into two major discussion points, guys, right? And then I want to let you know the second part will be a semi-review. There might be some spoilers. So when we get to the second part, if you don't want to hear it, you guys can step away. But the way that I'm going to do my review is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to drop complete spoilers. I'm going to talk about the analogies. I'm going to talk about the examples that's being used within black and white society and the symbolism that's being used there. So it might be a spoiler, but I'm not going to be too detailed on certain individual plot lines, if that makes sense, guys. Okay? So let me see here. What's going on, MOP? He dropping the members chat. Been here for 31 months. What's going on, MOP in the building? Says, hi, Dave. Hi, everyone. My birthday was okay. Shooting my shot. Is Janessa here? Don't tell no one. Happy birthday, MOP. Nah, I haven't seen Janessa yet, you know, but we'll let her know when she comes through, man. We'll let her know. Said T. Orlando says, Haley can get my baby gravy. Oh, come on, T. Orlando. you starting here, man. You start something like Michael Jackson. So I heard Jonathan Majors was supposed to play his brother. Interesting. I wonder if that was the case, and then when Jonathan Majors got into all that trouble, they rewrote the movie for him to be his twin. I'll look into that, Derek. So let's get into it now, guys, right? Like I said, I'm going to break this down into two parts here, right? Here's the first part here. So if anybody's wondering, said, I don't want no spoilers, Dave. I came in here and I don't want you to ruin the movie for me. Okay, this first part of the conversation is not the spoiler part. I want to backtrack not to the beginning of this week. I don't want to backtrack to last week for opening weekend. I want to backtrack 2 weeks ago, the week before Sinners dropped, guys. That's how we're going to start this conversation. We're going to start this conversation a week before Sinners came out, then opening week, then, of course, the second weekend. And why am I doing that here? Because before Sinners had came out, there were articles that was dropping not the week of when people were talking about, will Sinners make a profit? Will it be in the black or will it stay in the red? They were saying that a week before it came out, saying that it may only do 30 million. It may only do 40 million. It has a $40 million budget. I mean, $90 million budget. What is Warner Brothers gonna do when it crash and burns? Guys, that was the talking points from major media movie screen outlets that was talking about this movie before it even came out. What's going on, Sheila? Good to see you in the building here. Those were the talking points for Sinners before the movie came out. Director Ryan Coogler behind Black Panther, behind with Michael B. Jordan, behind the Creed franchise, okay? Fruitvale Station. So many movies that these two have done together have been successful, all right? And now we're getting to a point here where that they're getting so successful that we got to tear them down. We cannot let them showcase any signs of success. There is no way that an R-rated movie that is in the horror genre that took over $90 million to make is going to be a success. We don't believe it. We don't believe you black people can make that kind of successful movie. We don't believe the people will come out. We don't believe the people will pay their money post-pandemic because the movie industry has been taking a hit. Hollywood's been taking a hit. We don't believe you Negroes. We don't believe you ninjas. We don't believe you black people. We don't believe you. is going to pay for this movie. We don't think that you are going to support this grind here. That was the talking points, guys. That was the talking points here. I'm going to bring up a couple of articles to get into this here, guys. Let me pull on the screen here right now. We're getting started early. We're not doing the long stroke today, guys. Have you noticed? There is no long stroke today. We getting right into it. We getting into business handling situations here. Let me bring this on the screen here, guys. We're getting into real situations here. I got to say it like that. Situations here. Okay? This is from Screen Rant. A week before the movie came out, guys, Hollywood expects Sinners to lose money as new reports explain lavish deal behind Ryan Coogler's movie. You see how you see this, guys, this didn't start opening weekend. This started before opening weekend, guys. That's why I want to talk about this today. That's why we want to have the conversation. That's why I wanted to have this tap in here right now. T. Orlando says Sinners has made 161. We're going to get into that, T. Orlando. Don't worry. We're going to get into it, baby. You know, we're going to get into it. Pause. We're going to get into it here. Let me just go over this article by Hannah Guerin from Screen Rant. And this is from a week before the movie came out, guys. A worrying new report suggests that Warner Bros. May have severely miscalculated with Sinners. Ryan Coogler's new horror film focuses on the journey of twin brothers who return to their hometown only to find that something sinister is lurking there. The Sinners cast includes Michael B. Jordan, Miles Cadden, Saul Williams, Haley Stanfield, Jack O'Connor, and Tanaj L. Jackson. With the movie hitting theaters soon, it's projected to make around 40 or 50 million during its opening weekend in hopes of continuing Warner Bros. Box office streak following a Minecraft movie. Per Puck, Warner Bros. May have set the movie up to fail. Wait. You guys, you see this here? They're talking about this before the movie came out. That's why we're having this conversation right now. Check this out. As the source suggests that the $90 million budget for the film was likely far too high. This is on, guys, I'm not making this up. I'm making sure for this tap-in that you guys can see this on the screen, and I am reading this for you verbatim for this conversation. This is not just you seeing some black guy with some long-ass locks just saying, oh, it's always racism, Dave. It's always white supremacy. Oh, you guys love to make us up. This is what they were saying before the movie came out. The source suggests that the $90 million budget for the film was likely far too high. This valuation came after the film was bid to multiple studios who allegedly estimated its reasonable cost to be around $60 million. Warner Bros. Entertainment chairperson Mike DeLuca stuck his neck out for the Sinners and allowed the studio to buy it for higher. Now rumored to have cost even more, the source estimated that Sinners will need to do around $300 million at the box office to profit. Hold on, back to the big box. Back to the big box. Do y'all hear that? That was a week before the movie had came out. Really? That was a week before the movie had came out, guys. I want to bring up another article here. This was the running dialogue. I couldn't believe this here. What's going on, Upper Man? Good to see you in the building. Upper Man just checked on in. Good to see you, man. You know, on this afternoon check in here. Let me bring up this other article, guys. Let me bring up another article here for this discussion. Check this out. This is from Vulture now. I'm bringing up from Vulture here. So, is Sinners going to make or lose money? Guys, do you see? This is all the things that keeps being brought out to us here. Is it going to make or lose money here? Is it going to make or lose money here? What I'm saying here is, how come when it comes to white movies that has these kind of budgets and has this kind of successful opening weekends and then second weekends, that we do not have the same headlines? We do not have the same reports. We do not have the same conjecture that's being put out in the media here. Let me read what Vulture is saying about the movie here, guys, because that last article said only 40 to 50 million. They were trying to project lower numbers, guys. If you guys don't believe, go back and rewind back there. That last article from a week before said that 40 to 50 million, giving it a low ball projection for the opening weekend here. Let's go to Vulture now, guys. I want to read this here. This is during opening weekend now. Over his opening weekend in theaters, Ryan Coogler's Sexy, Mississippi in the 30-set vampire musical survival thriller Sinners received the dual sainthood of an A cinema score. It's got an A rating. The highest audience approval rating for an original R-rated movie ever. Guys, it's got the highest R-rated movie rated ever, guys, and stronger than expected box office returns, surpassing pre-release tracking estimates. See, guys, I did my homework for this show here today. You see the initial estimates, and then now this has come out from last week here, taking in 48 million domestically, overshooting industry expectations by 8 million. Sinners triumph over the Easter Corridor's presumed victor. The video game adaptation juggernaut, a Minecraft movie, squeaked past Jordan Peele's Nope, $44.3 million in 2022 as the best opening for a non-IP film in the post-COVID era. But reaction to that upset victory, a $63.5 million global haul. This is what we were talking about on Tuesday, guys. They said 40 to 50 million. And it took in 63.5 million on opening weekend, guys. Has been somewhat muted around Hollywood by the question now hanging over Sinners. Is the rollicking genre opus gonna make or lose money for our distributor Warner Brothers, depending on which industry trade report you believe? The movie's profitability either remains a long way off or remains a question mark. At issue, on the heels of a studio bidding war for the property last year, Warner Bros. Granted writer-director Coogler an unusual large budget of $90 million for an R-rated, genre-agnostic, non-franchise film. Moreover, Warner Bros. To exceed rare terms that rival studio execs fear could end the Hollywood studio system. 25 years after Sinners' release, ownership rights to Sinners revert to Coogler. And according to reports Insider Newsletter Pug, the movie will have to do around $300 million worldwide before turning a profit. But as Sinners' weekend box office tallies begin to trickle in around 11 p.m. Saturday, top executive Warner Bros. Were doing veritable backflips of joy. According to a source close to production who declined to be identified because the person was not authorized to publicly speak on the matter, the movie's break-even point is much lower. Guys, don't believe white society when they try to lie on us. We're going to finish the rest of this paragraph here. Don't believe the masses of racial white society and the dominant culture saying a $90 million movie is going to take $300 million to break even. Why are they lying to us, guys? $90 million and take $300 to break even? No, a $300 million to break even means that they had to be doing so much worldwide campaign where that they're doing the same kind of commercial attraction like you do for a Marvel superhero budget movie. Why are they lying saying $300 million to break even here? Check this out, guys. They said, according to Insider, Sinners will only need to earn $170 million globally to recoup its upfront costs, including around $75 million to $80 million for prints and advertising, when other downstream revenue, including PVOD, SVOD, and network broadcast windows are factored in. Hold on. Big box, guys. Big box, big box, big box. Hit the like button, guys. Did y'all see what I just read there? Do y'all see that there? Do y'all see that there? Do y'all see that there? We're going to get into more of the money that's being made this weekend. $90 million budget. The original lie said $300 million. No, we need 170 million. They tried to give it low reports at 40 to 50 million opening weekend. That did 63.5 million. Oh yeah, they tried to put dirt on the movie's name. They tried to put dirt on the movie's name. But we're not done yet, guys. I want to go over another article. I want to go over to another article here. Let me pull this up on the screen here. Big box, big box. Big box to little box. Here we go. Let's talk about Sinners and profitability. You know why I'm bringing up these articles, guys? Because I want to give you, before I go over this one here, you don't see white movies with the same type of budget get this scrutinized here. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the movie that Quentin Tarantino made with Brad Pitt, had that big Hollywood cast, all those people in there. Brad Pitt was in that bad boy. Did you guys know that that movie had a higher budget than Sinners, made $2 million less opening weekend than Sinners? And if you guys Google all the reports, you know what they said? Quentin Tarantino has a hit. Quentin Tarantino did it again. Quentin Tarantino can't do no wrong. Yes, guys, those were all the reports of a movie that made $2 million less, had a bigger budget in opening weekend, and you cannot find an article that says, well, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, will that turn a profit? No, they do that to our movies because they are threatened by the success that we make when we actually have the backing and financial access to make the movies that we can and then have the pull behind us. That's what they're doing here. Let me get to this article here, guys, from IndieWire. And you notice I've been bringing up reputable sites. I didn't bring no janky sites that someone made in the basement of their house. He's like, I never heard of that website, Dave. I made sure that I gave reputable websites here because these are the things that the industry actually looks to, and they try to listen to these people write these articles. And you know what the people said? You know what Foundational Black Americans said? You know what the B1 class said? Not on our watch. Not on our watch. Let me get to this article here. Let me scroll down here. It says, maybe it's because it was Easter weekend, or perhaps people are on edge that Pope Francis died the day after a bunch of people went to see a movie called Sinners on a holy holiday. But Ryan Coogler's original horror film can't quite catch a break, at least in some spaces. Can't catch a break. What the hell are they talking about? After staring down weeks of headlines that this movie, a genre-bending period horror film being released in April, not typically viewed as the place for a box office bonanza and not based on existing IP, what a concept, was risky for both Ryan Coogler as a director and Warner Brothers. As studio, we seemingly can't go a day without someone putting an asterisk on its success. Scroll down here. Hold on here, guys. Whoops. Let me scroll down here. There you go. Well, let me scroll down. Online critics of the box office cover Sinners implied that the media was spinning this opening weekend take in unfair ways. On X, formerly Twitter, Ben Stiller was moved to publicly ask, in what universe does an original movie that opened to 63 million worldwide and 48 million domestic have to face scrutiny about whether or not it'll be profitable after a single weekend in release? Even Ben Stiller was talking about this here. Others suggested some racial bias. Blacklist founder Franklin Leonard compared coverage of Coogler Sinners to more glowing coverage of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time Hollywood, a movie that opened to a similar mark that had a $90 million budget and also included a contract deal in which rights to the film were converted to Coogler after 25 years, not to the studio. Tarantino gets his back in 30 years after release. Says a smartly reported piece in Vulture last week saw rival studio execs raising the alarm about such a concession to a filmmaker, even one established and respected as Coogler. Coogler himself told IndieWire that such a deal is important for this film because its subject matter as a story of black sharecroppers developing black art and culture, and that no Warner Brothers was even the only studio to offer him the ownership contingency. And no, the deal is hardly the outlier others have posted it is. Vulture first reported, however, that while Tarantino will have the rights revert to him, the terms were grandfathered in from his prior arrangement with Miramax, not a new arrangement offered by Sony for that particular film. You guys see this here, guys? Quentin Tarantino got ownership. No one talking ill about that, are they? He had an earlier deal from Miramax. No one said anything. No one disputed what Quentin Tarantino does. But when a black person does something, ooh, we got a problem. We have a serious problem. But guys, since we got a serious problem here, we got to let you know that it's not really a problem. It's not really a problem. They want us to believe it's a problem. You know why? They're trying to sow doubt. If people hear that it's not doing as expected, the masses may say, why should I go to a show that people said it was going to do this? And then if it's not up to projections, they're trying to sow seeds of doubt to why a person would want to go see it. That's the reason why they're moving this way. That is the reason why they're moving this way. Let me bring up another article, guys. Yeah, I came not only for receipts, but invoices today to have this conversation. Okay? Let me bring up another article from Vulture. Well, no, from actually CNBC. We're going to go to CNBC first here. Let me bring this up here. Ryan Coogler says he was $200,000 in debt when he made Creed. Now Sinners could pay him for the rest of his life. Oh, man. Y'all hear that, guys? Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Hold on. Let's talk about this here. Ryan Coogler's new movie Sinners has garnered at least $71 million of box office revenue since its April 18th theatrical release, but it's the deal he inked with Warner Brothers to make the movie that significant for a film director who was deep in debt roughly a decade ago. Coogler discussed his personal debt history, which he said experienced while directing the 2015 movie Creed during an April 15th episode on WTF with Mark Maron podcast. Back then, bro, I was making no money, says Cougar 38. I was $200,000 in debt for the film school. It was bad. Now his Sinners deal with Warner Bros. Reportedly includes a provision that'll give him the rights to the movie after 25 years. According to Vulture, by the time his kids are adults, Coogler could potentially receive royalties from streaming services or television broadcasts that would otherwise go to the production studio for the rest of his life. He could also snag merchandising deals and receive lump sum payments from licensees seeking the rights to the film for set periods of time. Let me go back to the big box, guys. Big box. This is serious, guys. Know why this deal is so important? I want to give an example here for Ryan Coogler. We're going to get further into this discussion here, right? One thing I notice when I'm doing some housework around the house, if I'm just watching some TV, things of that nature, or whatever, I'm doing some work in the basement, doing my thing or working on this YouTube channel, and it might have the TV on the background, especially on the weekends. There's a movie that I watched over 20 years ago. I'm just using this as an example. Mean Girls. I love me some Mean Girls, y'all. You can't tell me nothing. It's Katie. Guys, I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater, but I remember I rented the movie back in the day. And then I was hanging out with other people who rented that movie. And then now, if you go on E! Channel, it's on like every weekend or every other weekend. You can see it running continuously. You'll see it come on at 2 o'clock. You'll see it come on at 4 o'clock. You'll see it come on at 8 o'clock. Exactly, T. Orlando. That's so fetch. Stop making fetch a thing. Fetch will never be a thing. Reason why I brought up Mean Girls like that, because every time since its the theater release, then you have the rental release. And then at that point, then different studios who want the rights to go ahead and play that movie, whether HBO pays the rights to have it on their rotation, with Cinemax or Showtime. I give you the example of E! Entertainment, how they have movies running all the time. So in 25 years, a movie like this, depending on the network, say for instance, Ryan Coogler, BET. Every time that's going to be played on network television, every time you see it on cable, you see someone rent it, you see download it on streaming, they go to, whatever they live in the Midwest for Xfinity or Comcast or whatever the case may be, DirecTV, he gets all that revenue to himself. Normally, that goes to the studio. Then the studio, depending on whatever the actor's contracts are, will get their residual checks in the back end. How often have you heard an actor say, or a director say, or someone in Hollywood say, yeah, man, I get checks and residuals. Man, I got a check for this one movie. Man, I got a check for 72 cents. Have anybody, y'all heard that before? I got a check for 72 cents. And they'll literally say, man, it cost them more to mail me this check than how much I got in my residuals here, right? Ryan Coogler ain't got to worry about that once the rights revert back to him. He gonna get the full check. It ain't gonna be no 71 cents if it's on E, and it's on BET, and it's on HBO Max, or it's on Showtime. Whatever those residual checks are, that's gonna be played continuously every month and running replays and streaming rights. He gonna get the full shebang and bang. I'm telling you right now, those checks is gonna be close to 5 figures a month, easily, depending on that. You think about merchandising, owning those rights. You think about the sequels and prequels. That's why I said T. Orlando hold off on that there, because him owning the rights means that when he creates the other movies and makes it a franchise, then we're going to have an IP involved, right? And T. Orlando hit it best. If I go over, I'm going to go over them in a few moments about my little overview of the movie here. The Smokestack Twins, which is Michael B. Jordan, he's playing twins. He's playing himself. You see a lot of movies in the past where a character is playing himself and, he's playing his twin brother as well. The way the movie was shot and directed, I am 100% with T. Orlando here. If you guys have not seen the movie, but you guys can understand what I'm saying here, you could literally set up a prequel with Michael B. Jordan's character there. Right? It don't even have to be about vampires. It could just be a dope-ass prequel of them in Mississippi, going to Chicago, and then the storyline comes back to go back to Mississippi as the touch there. But Ryan Coogler, would own all those rights for a prequel movie. Let's say that they find a way to write a sequel. Let's say that they come across TV shows to go ahead and make it into a Netflix series. Maybe the prequel could be a Netflix 10-episode series. There are so many avenues and lanes, but when we have ownership, guys, we can do what we want, and that allows us to have financial freedom. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's what I want to do here now, guys. Now I want to get to the update of the numbers. Let's get to the update of the numbers, guys. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Right, T. Orlando. Her dad invented pastry strudels. Right. Right. I love Mean Girls, y'all. I use that as an example because I know a whole bunch of y'all on the low be like, man, I'm watching Mean Girls, the one to know about it. And I'll tell you straight up, if Mean Girls is one of those movies, if it's on, I don't just change the channel. If I've been channel surfing and I keep going on and I see Mean Girls, I don't care. I'm just gonna leave it right here. All right. If you're from Africa, why are you white? That's right, Sheila. If you're from Africa, you can't ask that, Sheila. Yeah. I love that movie. That's why I use that as an example for Mean Girls with Ryan Coogler, because if you're not part of the dominant society, but for the white folks who watch me, you guys can understand what I'm talking about with the Mean Girls. You know what I mean? You can only wear your ponytail once a week. You can only wear sweats once a week too, T. Orlando. Yes. I'm not from Africa if you're talking to me. What's going on, General? Yeah. So check this out, guys. Let me go to this next article here from Variety here now. This next article is from Variety. Shout out to Variety here. Now, I did all this backtracking from 2 weeks ago to last week. Now we're here at the current time right now. We're here at the current time right now. Check what Variety says now. Box office. Sinners score 45 million in massive second weekend. Star Wars re-release beats Accountant 2. That's a damn shame that Star Wars beat that new movie. Sinners towered over the box office again, scoring a mighty 45 million in its second weekend of release. The ticket sales declined to a mere 6% from its 48 million start, making Sinners the rare film with a sophomore outing that nearly matches debut. It is especially impressive for horror, a genre that known to fall sharply after its opening weekend. What it doesn't say in this opening article, guys, that this is the shortest drop off in box office history, guys. That's right, guys. This is the shortest drop-off. No other movie has had the least drop-off in its second week than Sinners, guys. That's right. It's pop. We made it popping, guys. So far, Sinners has grossed $122.5 million in North America and $161.6 million globally against a $90 million production budget. Glowing reviews and audience enthusiasm seem likely to keep turbocharging the film at the domestic box office, even as the summer movie season kicks off. Over the weekend, Ryan Coogler and star Michael B. Jordan's vampire thriller stayed strong as several new movies landed on the big screen. Guys, it says $161.6 million. You see how they try to lie? They say they have to make $300 million to break even, and then I had to show you a different article because that don't make no sense. This is not a Marvel movie, right? It's going to take about roughly around $170 million to break even, and it is already at 161. So you know what that means, guys? They already have today's projections right now, but by Wednesday, the latest. No, not even Wednesday. I'm going to take that back. By Tuesday, the latest, this movie will be in the black. I did not leave the South Side for this. Right. Y'all gonna keep quoting Mean Girls now. Shout out to Tim Meadows. I'm done with y'all right now. Why did I bring this movie up here? Yeah, but guys, you see how they try to lie saying 300 million. And then we hear 170, and now we're saying that right now we're at about a 161. So by the end of day tomorrow, Tuesday the latest, this movie will be in the black. You see how they try to do us here? Second weekend, we're already going to break even, man. We're already breaking even here. It says, after a close race, Star Wars 3 Revenge of the Sith looks to have pulled ahead of Ben Affleck's The Accountant 2. Yeah, we hear about that. I'm not going to read about The Accountant here. We don't care about that. Let's see here. What else they're saying here? Minecraft. We don't care about that. They're giving me all the other movies that came out here. So yes. So in this article here, we're seeing, let me go back to the big box here. Big box, big box. So we can't talk about how, and you know, before I did this live stream, guys, I was searching for any article, any writer previously, and every major movie screen or rating site, whatever the case may be, that was trying to write the same articles saying, will it break even? Is this going to be a disaster? What is Warner Brothers thinking? You know what? All those articles are in the past now. They tried. They tried their ass off, and you know what the Black Society said? No, we're not going to let you tear one of ours down. We're going to go support the show. Matter of fact, we're going to do so much support, it's almost the same the second weekend as it was the first weekend. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's right. So now that we got that out the way, it's Pooh Man says, I watch Sinners when it comes on Prime. Nah, Pooh Man. You need to go ahead and see it. You need to go pay your money and see it now. Good. No, Pooh Man. Nope. I'm going to get on you. You my number one mod. I'm going to get on you. Nope. Spend your money now. You know what, guys? I went. What's going on? Tina D smells like a baby prostitute. What? A baby prostitute? Why y'all cracking jokes on me right now? That's why I should record this video, not live streamed it, because y'all keep throwing me off, right? So that this movie looks to be moving towards having a cult following already. Upper Man, this is not cult following, Upper Man. This is what cult following means, that you have like this distinct group that gives it this push and everybody's loving around it. This is not cult following, Upper Man. This is everybody is with the movie. When you have a cult-like following, you have a certain demographic that's going to hold it down. Like you have this core group that says, no matter what, we're going to make sure that it's successful, right? No, this ain't cult following, Upper Man. This is everybody. When you do 160 million in 2 weeks, and by the end of, by the end of the third weekend, it's going to be north of 200 million. That's not cult. That means that all the people have spoken. That's not cult. Shout out to you, Upper Man. You my guy. I'm just trying to say, that's not cult-like. That means everybody, not the cults. Everybody's saying, yo, this is the jam here. This is the jam. Exactly, Trust. We got to support our people. We got to support our people. T. Orlando says Sinners has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to go exactly. Now to begin the conversation, guys, I went on Friday night. I went to the 6 p.m. IMAX showing. And I think also, too, that is one of the reasons why the movie was at 90 million, because of the fact that it was shot on an IMAX cameras. You know, if this was shot on regular cameras, you would not have that $90 million budget. So once I found out that it was shot on IMAX, I have to see it on IMAX. I say, you know what? No, I'm not going to cheapen the experience, because once the movie comes on Prime, like Pooh Man said, or if it comes on Netflix, or the case may be, it's going to be converted from the IMAX projection to regular TVs. So I said to myself, I can watch it on regular screens when I get to watch it at home. To support this film, I'm going to watch it how it was intended to be viewed, on the IMAX screen. That's right, guys. I went Saturday, 6 p.m. for the IMAX by my house. Right? And to let you guys know, yeah, I went to Naperville. You guys know Chicagoland suburbs, stand up. You know, that dude named Dave. Okay, I was looking at becoming a long-lasting influence like a Pulp Fiction or something similar to that. This is bigger than Pulp Fiction, Upper Man. I hear you, Upper Man, but check it out. This movie is bigger than Pulp Fiction when Pulp Fiction was released. So I'm saying you can't have the same comparison, because this is the #1 movie in the nation. This is the #1 movie in the box office for 2 weeks in a row. Pulp Fiction didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in 94, Pulp Fiction didn't have this kind of run. Trust says, how was the movie? We're going to get into it. Because I didn't want to just go into, I wanted to go about the earlier talking points that we had on Tuesday, and how they try to lie to us saying that it was not going to be successful, and it is successful. Now let's get into it here. Let's talk about this movie. Can I say this here for the record, guys? Michael B. Jordan's going to get some Oscar nominations. He's going to get some nods, y'all. Yep. Michael B. Jordan should. He should, and I'm going to say, I believe he will get Oscar consideration for this movie. Why am I saying that? Now, he played 2 characters. He played these characters. I'm not going to go so deep into break every nook and cranny of the movie down. I'm going to do an overview. I'm doing a broad overview, right? He plays the twin brothers of the Smokestack twins. One name is Smoke, one name is Stack. Now, I will say this about him playing 2 characters. He did his damn homework on how to play identical twin brothers. Why am I saying that here? When I saw him moving and acting as Smoke and then Stack, you know what the first thing that came in my head, and this is the key of knowing that you're a damn good actor? When I saw him interacting as identical twins, the first thing that came to mind of these 2 identical twins I grew up and went to school with, the Krakowski brothers. Mike and Gary Krakowski. I'd known them since 6th grade until I graduated high school. That's a total of 7 years, right? Mike and Gary, they both had their goofy ways, you know, because, you know, they're the same, but one was this kind of serious one that, you know, the other one was a little bit goofy. The one was a little bit smarter than the other one, but when they got together, they rocked together. If there was going to be a fight, they were fighting together. It would, you know, it was a 2-on-1 no matter what. They would go at each other and argue. At the end of the day, they would hug it out. I was like, I love you, brother, love you too, right? And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw Michael B. Jordan, I had a flashback of my childhood. And I said to myself, damn, he did his homework to understand how to play identical twins, because you're playing yourself, but there's nuances of differences between the identical twins, where that once you understood what character is what, you knew that they were different characters, even though they come from the 2 of the same cloth there. And I was like, damn, he's selling this here. Give it to Michael B. Jordan. He sat down, he looked at Identical Twins, he saw the similarities and differences here, and then added little nuances. You could tell that he put the work and effort into this here. That's number one. Trust says, we had twin girls in our class, Yolanda and Krishanda. Yeah. So I'm saying that to say, if you guys ever knew Identical Twins, not just knew them in passing, you knew them and you saw how they move and how they acted and things of that nature, and then you see Michael B. Jordan's character doing this role here, you're going to be like, damn. Because when you watch it, you're not going to say, oh, Michael B. Jordan. And no, you are sold from Jump Street. This is not Michael B. Jordan. This is Smoke, and this is Stack. One more time. Within 2 minutes of the movie, I did not look at him as Michael B. Jordan. I looked at that as, this is Smoke over here, and this is Stack. I hate that Michael B. Jordan wasn't able to be, I hate that John Williams wasn't able to be in the movie. I was told that John was supposed to be MB's brother in this movie, but due to issues of Michael B. Okay, yeah, you're the second person that said that, Upper Man. I think Derek said that earlier too, right? And that would have been kind of dope too, to see Jonathan Majors to do that, because then they would be fraternal twins, not identical twins. And I could see that as well. But Upper Man, I mean, I'm just going to say it here. I would love to see Jonathan Majors, but you know what though? Michael B. Jordan didn't need no help, baby. Michael B. Jordan did not need any help. You know what I'm saying? T. Orlando says Michael A. Jordan and Michael C. Jordan. Stop it, man. Hey, stop it. He said, facts. He hit both different personalities. Thank you, Millennial. Salute to you. I didn't see you come in the chat. Salute to Millennial. Exactly. Hey, what's going on, Indoor? Good to see you, girl. She said, I'm going now. I like to jump sometimes. Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. So that's one point that I want to point out here. Michael B. Jordan's characters sold that. God dang it, y'all. Number two, because I'm doing this review a little bit differently here, guys. I'm kind of talking about it, but I'm not destroying it to a degree. Number two, if you guys know, I talk heavily about the lineage. I talk strongly about my roots. I talk strongly about being B1. I talk heavily about my foundational Black American lineage. How I talk about my dad and his lineage is from Kentucky. My parents are from Mississippi. And I can go back now, guys. I can go back. I remember before I told you guys that doing my homework by myself and talking to my mom, and I can go back to the early 1800s. We're down to late 1700s now. I am doing so much tracking on my family history, and I'm already down to the 1700s right now, guys. And you know what? At this rate right now, before we get done here, I think we can get to the 1600s. Right? Oh man, you just don't know how this is making me feel when I am doing my deep dive homework. And this is just only my mom's side of the family, guys. I'm in like the late 1800s on my dad's side of the family. I'm in the 1700s my mom's side of the family, guys. And I'm saying this to say, to see 1932 Mississippi, understand that my mom was born in 1943 in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. That her father was born in 1914 in Mississippi. My grandfather's father, when I mention him because he was the last person in my family that was born into slavery into 1856 in Mississippi. My family comes from slavery. My family comes from plantations. My family are sharecroppers. Anyone know something, guys? When I was watching the cinematography and I was watching the visuals, and you seen how Ryan Coogler uses his directing talents in certain pan aspects there when he is shooting in that part of Mississippi, and you're seeing the plantations and you're seeing the lands. And you know a thing that came to me, guys? If anybody who's foundational Black Americans from family from the South, Alabama, Mississippi, I don't know if you felt this way, but this is what I felt. When I watched those scenes, you know what I saw? I saw my people. Did y'all hear me? What's going on, Alexander? Just saw it literally minutes ago. Is good, just good. Guys, hit the like button. Guys, when I watched them driving down those dirt roads, and I saw them picking cotton, and I saw the sharecroppers, all those people sharecroppers. You know what I saw? I saw my uncles. I saw my aunts. I saw my cousins. I see my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather, my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandparents. I was mesmerized. I was hypnotized by the visuals. That is something that I don't know if you guys took that in, if you guys saw the movie. You didn't need lighting. It was all the natural sun that was coming down from that big old red bowl, a big old circular spear in the sky that was coming down to Mississippi. You didn't need no special lighting. You had all the natural lighting of the South. I saw my peoples. I literally was feeling like I was having a download moment of seeing what I was seeing. And you know some guys? It was beautiful. I'll tell you that right now. Family, it was beautiful the way he shot that. Those imageries, those areas, those plantations, the cotton fields, the trees, the shacks, all that. That's where my people's from. And I was mesmerized. I was on the edge of my seat even when they were just beginning to tell the story, because Ryan Coogler understood the experience of the foundational Black American that he even said in an interview of the last 100 years. Oh, it was great. Had to point that out to you guys. If you guys never thought about that, or if you have people in Mississippi, you have people from the South. I am the first, if within my family know how, my mom's, and my mom comes from a family, a total of 16 guys. That's right. My grandparents had 16 kids. My mom's the fourth oldest of 16. I'm like, all of them grew up, their kids, my mom and all my aunts, uncles' kids, we are first generation, like the Midwest, Chicago, big city. They all came from the South. So when I see that, I'm only one generation removed from that, from what my mom grew up in. So yes, he said, Grandma with the pound town. Hey man, hey, that was a granddaddy, T. Orlando. That's what they did back then. There was no TVs, no streaming. What you gonna do? You're gonna make a lot of hot loving. A lot of hot loving, y'all. So that's number two thing that I love about the idea of Mississippi and the visionary and everything that goes along with it. Next point that I want to get into as well, guys. Next point that I want to talk about. Come on in here. Let's go to Pound Town. Stop it, T. Orlando. So I haven't watched the movie at the theaters in years. Just a broke working trucker. But shout out to the Black movie makers. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't go to the show either. And I'm glad I did, General. I don't go to the show now. I literally live down the street from a movie theater. The movie theater down the street from my house, literally when I pull out my subdivision of my house and get to the main road, the movie theater's literally right there. Like, I can't miss it. The movie theater's across the street from my grocery store that I go to. And I said, you know what? We got to support this movie. Even if you ain't got no money, General, what money you normally trick off on something, you should take that $10 to $15 and trick off that and see it on this movie. Next thing that I want to talk about here, I'm going to get a little bit into the movie here. There was an amazing musical scene in the juke joint. Now, I'm not giving you the whole details of the movie because some of y'all got to see it, right? There was a music, when they opened up a juke joint, and there was this major musical scene. And there was something profound that Delroy Lindo, shout out to Delroy Lindo, he killed his role. He killed his role, guys. I don't know if you guys remember this here, but Ryan Coogler's writing has so many gut punches. If you were paying attention, you could not help but sink that in. One of the lines that Delroy Lindo said, that yes, we know our music, we have roots in Africa, but the blues comes from us. And the blues comes from here. Hold on, guys. Hold on. How often are we hearing people from Africa, immigrants, Caribbean descent, always telling us when we make our music and then the things that we do, we create, they always try to go back to, well, you got these drums from Africa, nigga. Or all this comes from Africa, nigga. Everything that you do, the music that you make, you black people have no culture. The culture comes from Africa. And Delroy basically said it best. Yes, we have roots in Africa. We're not denying that. We have DNA that's rooted in us from Africa. But we have lineage. We have culture that we have born and bred and created and built out that is here on this land that we call America. And in that dance number, you know what they showcase here? I don't know if you guys saw the symbolism or the imagery. They show that dance and that musical number, and they show the African roots. You see the people, you see the African roots dancing. But then what did they showcase? They showcase a brother on the guitar, like a little bit of a hazing. You can see like imagery, and he's playing rock and roll. Then you saw them, of course, because it's a juke joint 1932, they're singing, they're doing their part of the blues. Then you see other imagery from other blacks, and then they're going across 100 years because they're showing this imagery. You're seeing the blues, you're seeing country, you're seeing rock and roll, you're seeing R&B, you're seeing hip hop. And what was that? And then you saw the house and the burning down of the roof. It was on fire. The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the mother burn. Right? What did that represent? I didn't go look at no articles. I didn't need no one to break this down. I watched that just one time, and that dance number told me what I needed to know. I already knew. Every major music art form we created, and we're seeing it being stolen from us right now to this day, or when we try to reclaim it back, they're trying to throw shame on us here. What am I talking about here? His imagery that I'm talking about. We create the blues. Who gonna deny that? Who gonna say someone else created the blues but us, foundational Black Americans? We created country music. Country music originated from the slaves that were working on the initial railroads from the East Coast going all the way to the West Coast, and the brothers and sisters working on the line, singing their melodies. And then the white folks took those melodies to turn to their own form of country music. The original country music came from us. Why am I talking about this part of country music with this movie here? Because back in January, people made a big deal about Beyonce and her country album. And I know a lot of people in my chat, people hates Beyonce and things of that nature. You know what I'm gonna say here, guys? Beyonce is a proxy. Y'all can hate Beyonce all day long, but we need Beyonce as a proxy. Why am I saying that? Because you see the other foundational Black Americans who's making country music. Was it Shabuzi? Whatever it is, and other Black artists who are in the country genre who is selling more records than any white country music artist. But when you go to the Country Music Awards, they denied all the Black people. And then when the white folks were on stage, what were they saying? Oh, finally some regular semblance right now. They're trying to have erased us from our history. And then when we try to not only just take it back saying, yo, this is our history, they still try to erase us to this day. We created country music, and when we do get into the market of country music, people buy our music more than anything else here. And I'm saying that y'all can hate Beyonce, when you want to hate Beyonce, but she is doing the work that needs to be done for other foundational Black Americans when it comes to country music, because she's a big enough artist to break through where other Black men and Black women can say, I'm from the South, I'm from Texas, I'm from South Carolina, I'm from Mississippi, and if I want to make some country music, I'm gonna make me some country music because I'm from the country and this is my heart, this is my lineage, this is where I come from. Right? Y'all can hate Beyonce all you want. She is a proxy to doing the work that we need done there. If black folks want to make country music because we're the originators of it, how is it we gonna allow these white artists to say we can't make country music when they wouldn't have it without us? And that was in the movie. We created country music, and you see how they treat us when we try to make it again. We invented the blues. Jazz music, that comes from us. R&B music comes from us. We go down the line. Hip hop music. And you see how they try and take hip hop now? Puerto Ricans like Fat Joe, remember at the end of the year during the election, and he was trying to say, oh, the foundational black authority. No, we made hip hop with y'all. But during the history of hip hop, you didn't see Puerto Ricans and Latinos mess with us. Look at the movie Do the Right Thing, when Radio Raheem was walking down the street with the boombox, and all the Latinos you saw there, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, they were playing their Latin music, and they were crapping on the hip hop music and Public Enemy when Radio Raheem was walking down the street with his big boombox. That was a symbolism in Do the Right Thing in 1989 that was showcasing. We were the only ones messing with hip hop music. Everybody else wasn't. And until it became a cultural phenomenon, then they want to cosplay. Then they want to come in. Then they want to say that, oh, we helped y'all create the genre. No, y'all didn't. Y'all came in as Johnny come latelys and trying to steal it from us. Kareem says, all facts, TD&D. I just wanted to do the right thing last week. It's a T. Orlando. So I'm talking about that dance number, guys. And if you guys seen it, and if you guys see the movie again, pay attention to that scene. Because Ryan Coogler put in there, not just about the blues. When we hear all the races and the immigrants and the African tropes saying that you niggas got no culture. You foundational black Americans, it's only about gangs and violence and baby mamas. Okay, then. Y'all wouldn't have y'all music if it wasn't for us. There'll be no country music. There'll be no blues. There'll be no jazz, no R&B, no hip hop without us. And Ryan Coogler put that in his movie. He showcased that. Next point I want to get in here. Oh, yeah, I'm having fun talking about this here. Next point. I know this is an idea that is in most vampire movies or horror films, but this is also the same when it comes to regular everyday society. The original vampires in the movie were white people. And when the white people came to the juke joint where all the black people were enjoying themselves and having a good time, what happened, guys? The white vampires who have their guitars and they prove that they can play and they're musicians, they want to have a good time, they had money. But what happened? They couldn't come in. They couldn't walk in if they wanted to. Why is that, people? Why couldn't they just walk right in? Why couldn't they just come right in? Evil can't come in unless you let it in, people. Hold on. Let me repeat that again, guys. That's not just in folklore. That is in regular, everyday society, how we live. You can't have evil in your life unless you invite evil in. What does that mean with us? Think about it. If you see trouble, if you see a guy or a girl's trouble, do you hang out with them? Do you do business with them? Do you date them? Do you kick it with them? Or you fall back and say, hey, man, I don't need that kind of business right now. I don't need that kind of work right now, man. Nah. I get it. I see how dude move. I see how girl move. But nah, that ain't me right now. That is the exact same symbolism for us today, guys. You guys will not get into any trouble. You guys will not see any major issues unless you invite that into your life. They can try to come into your sphere. They can try to come into your space. But if you say no, they can't harm you unless they resort to physical violence to try to come in and take you out. And that's what they were doing. They couldn't come in unless they're invited, but since they were invited, they were waiting for us to come out to take us out. Evil can't come in unless we invite it in. With that same example, there was one character named Cornbread. Cornbread's character, I can't think of the guy's name, but he was in 8 Mile. He was the big dude in 8 Mile with Eminem. He's played in a lot of movies before. You know, he's done a lot of TV shows. I can't think of that brother's actor's name, right? They showcased the symbolism of him before he even became an issue. When they first showcased this brother, and then Michael B. Jordan's character was talking to him, I think it was Stack that was talking to him. And he's like, yo, man, you need to get off this plantation here. I got a job for you. And he was acting like a good old boy. He's like, I still got my quota. I still got to pick this cotton, okay? You need to stop going on, stop messing with me, Stack. And then what happened? And he said, fuck you, right? And then he's like, yo, you know my wife is here. And then what did Stack say? A wife too, right? His Stack was so disrespectful, right? But then when it came down to the money, what did Cornbread's wife say? She didn't care that Stack said, you. Know what she said? How much they paying? How much they paying? So we knew there was a character with Cornbread. But when Cornbread had to go take a piss and then the vampires got him, he tried to come back to the juke joint. And what happened? He couldn't walk in the juke. Come on, Smoke and Stack, let me in. Cornbread, you've never needed an invitation. So why are you asking to come in when you've never needed an invitation? Come on, man. We blacks, we can't be acting like that here. We need to be in harmony. We need to live good with everybody. We can't just let people on the outside be in the outside. We got to work in harmony with love and be all one coalition. Doesn't that sound like the coon or sellout who falls for white society and tells to do everything that white master says because the white master's water is colder? That was Cornbread, y'all. Cornbread became the coon. He became the sellout. Everybody, come on, why don't we all just be together? It's not that bad. Come on, man, it ain't that bad. Yo, we got to look out for the people that we know. We said that's when we knew. We grew up. We thought they were cool. We hung out with them, maybe played with them, maybe been friends with them, things of that nature. And then when we get to a certain age, it's like, yo, why do you need an invitation? We've known you for a long time. We don't need an invitation unless it's not really you, Cornbread. Cornbread got turned and he was a vampire, so he wasn't invited. He was evil, and evil can't come in unless you invite it in. All right? Next point I want to get into as well. When the vampires were talking, the white vampires, and they were coming after Sammy. Sammy was the other main lead character. He was the cousin to Michael B. Jordan's twins. And what did the white vampire say? Oh, we understand we're here for everybody. We came for you, Sammy. We heard your music from all the way down. We heard your singing. It is glorious. We need your stories. We need your inspiration. Why y'all trying to be separate over here? Y'all need to come outside and be with us. You see what happens when you deal over those guys over there? You guys keep building and building, and you create your own things. And what happens? They just keep tearing it down into destruction, and you're forced and left with rubble to rebuild again. Doesn't that sound familiar, people? Doesn't that sound familiar? Upper Sam says Omar Benson. Thank you, Upper Man. Omar Benson played Cornbread. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like the white liberal Democrats who tell us don't vote for the Republicans? Don't go on the other side. They have never done anything for you. There is no tangibles in there for you. They are known to be racist. You guys built Black Wall Street. You guys were looking for your 40 acres and a mule. You guys constantly build your own enclaves. And what does the dominant society do? They keep taking from y'all. They go take you behind the back and put a noose on your family members and then cut their manhood off to send a message saying, you get out of pocket and this can be the same for you. We're going to take down your banks. We're going to take your homes. We're going to take your property. We're going to take your money. We're going to take everything. That's to then kill off the major men in there and make you start all over again. And you know what, though? That's if we're going to be nice. But if we're not going to be nice, we're going to wipe everybody out. And what the white vampires say, you don't have to go through that no more. Just come on outside. It's better if we're all together as one collective. You don't got to be over there there. Be with us. It's so much happier with us. And guys, what happened? When they were dancing and they were doing their thing, it looked like some white male mayonnaise babbling bullshit. They were river dancing and they were all stiff. All the black folks, when they were part of the juke joint, they had soul, they had rhythm, they would dance and the blues was in them. They were stomping their feet, they were on their knees, they were doing everything. They were juking, they were bopping, they were doing everything. And then when they got converted to what the white vampires, AKA I'm calling them the white liberals, the Democrats, they were stiff, they were river dancing, they were all in unison, but they didn't have no soul, they didn't have no feel. And that's what happens when you go to the other side. They take our stories and co-opt them, cosplay as us, and then turns into something that we are not who we are. Trust says that's why they don't want us to go support the movie. Facts. Facts. Is the movie like Blackula or Vampire Brooklyn, but based on plans? It's no, Trust, not even that at all. Not even that at all. Think of a period piece with great cinematography, and all of a sudden, you got some vampires in that bitch. Hey, great movie, great background, just think some vampires at a certain point. No Blackula, no Vampire in Brooklyn, none of that stuff. Think a great Hollywood movie, and all of a sudden, you seeing motherfuckers with some sharp-ass teeth. Imani Ellis can get it too, says T. Orlando. But I wanted to bring that point out too. When the white vampires said they needed our stories, they needed our inspiration, because white people throughout the history of this country has not been able to survive without black people. If you think about before this country was this country, and when you saw the white settlers come in here, how many times did they crashed and burned and failed trying to make settlements? That's why they went back and got the slaves, and then of course the black people that are already here, and then put them together for the transatlantic slave trade, and everybody else here to create the America what it is today. White people were crashing and burning until the slave trade came over here. Mo Better Blues meets Dusk Till Dawn. I can see that, K-Sam. But Mo Better Blues had so much, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of musical numbers, but there was more, but I can see that. I can see a taste of Mo Better Blues from Dusk Till Dawn. I might think Color Purple meets Dusk Till Dawn. I can see that. I can see both those examples too, T. Orlando. I can see Mo Better Blues by replacing the jazz with blues music. And then I can see Color Purple because of the idea. Only problem, though, is how feminist Color Purple was. Upper Man says, I wonder, let me put this on the screen here. I wonder if that's why they're promoting The Account of Two so much. As much as I like the first one, I see how they're pushing it over Sinners hard. They're trying, but the people don't care, Upper Man. They can try to push it all they want. The people are saying, 1 for Sinners, please. 2 for Sinners, please. 4 for Sinners, please. They can say all they want. They can't stop people from spending how they want to spend their money. Yeah. So this movie is about black supremacy, trying to figure out, no, it ain't about no black supremacy. Where'd you get black supremacy from? Lauren, how do you get black sharecroppers black supremacy? It's 1932. You've been here from the beginning. I talked about how the sharecroppers, I talked about how they were picking cotton. That's not black supremacy. That's black history. And there's no such thing as black supremacy. You know what black supremacy means? That means that we reign supreme. How we reign supreme when there's white supremacy. You can't have dual supremacy. There's either one or the other. In 1932, sharecroppers, plantation, that is part of segregation in Mississippi, in the down in those bayous. That's not supremacy. That's segregation. And that is our history. Black supremacy, exactly. Black supremacy in 1932. I don't know, no disrespect, Lauren, where did you get black supremacy with the idea of a 1930s period film? If you're thinking this way, that's the issue of white society. We're talking about our stuff that we created, and then all of a sudden, I think it's supremacy? No. We are owning our lineage, and we are not allowed people to talk down on our lineage. That is not supremacy. That is having inspiration in who we are as a collective from now and even from the past. Didn't you hear me say in this live stream here how I was looking at the imagery in Mississippi? These are my people and sharecroppers. That's the problem. See, that's the thing here. You hear us bigging up our society, and then white people think supremacy. That's the goddamn problem today, people. You never once said that we were supreme over white people. I was talking about our accomplishments and not to let it be died down by the dominant society. No, we can't allow that to happen, people. You see that? Just how simple that was? See how simple that was? Next point here that I want to get on this movie here. Yes, it was based in 1932. You know, and you see the black church that's front and center, you know, the preacher boy, I think it says a preacher boy, his father was a preacher, you know, the Smokestack twins and things of that nature. Let's get into T. Orlando. So T&D, don't scare off the nice white folks. I'm not scaring anybody off T. Orlando, but we're adults here. We got to talk to people like adults and make things a buck and a spade. You know, I'm not going to bite my tongue for something I never said. And since I didn't say that, we have to make sure that we clarify what is being said here so that people like that, when they hear us speak like this, then all of a sudden they think supremacy. How is that supremacy when we're talking about our history? You see how they look at that, T. Orlando? No disrespect to you, Lauren, but I gotta point this out to you. Can you see the error in your comment? That I can talk so glowingly about my past, even though my class is about sharecroppers. And then you're talking about supremacy? Hey guys, come on now. Come on. You know? Another thing, see, have you guys noticed though, I'm not going like a play-by-play of the music. Hey, what's going on, Jay Dillinger? Have you noticed that I'm just giving you my major overtones here that's going on here? I didn't get black supremacy from this at all. Here's the thing, how can you get black supremacy when I even got to the point where the Klan is involved in the movie? The white vampires were part of the Klan. I'm glad that Lauren said that now. So let's get into this here. This supremacy talk now. I wasn't gonna do this here, but let's get into supremacy talk here now. They showed the imagery of those white vampires with the Klan outfits on. And if you notice that those white vampires are the symbolism of the white Democrats and liberals. And what have I talked about so much? Republicans and Democrats, both sides of the white people, y'all the same racists. See, that's the lie that they told us here. The lie that they told us here is that white Democrats and the left can't be racist. Exactly, T. Orlando. The Dems are the bloodsuckers. They showcased that, they showed the white people before they came vampires, but they had already white supremacy. They already had the Klan outfits on. And then they're trying to say, we're with you. We support you. Be with us here. This could be heaven on earth if you come to our side. That's what Democrats have been doing to us for the longest. What did Malcolm X say in the 60s? The white liberal is one of the most biggest enemies to the black man here. The white liberal don't give a damn about the black man. And like I was saying here, that the racist Democrats and the racist Republicans are only two wings on the same goddamn bird. You do know that the Klan was started with the Democratic Party. You do know, was it the 1922 Democratic Convention was basically a Klan rally? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Am I educating y'all today here? A combination of education with this movie here? Do you guys know, was it 1922 or 1924 Democratic Convention? That wasn't just the Democratic Convention. That was a goddamn Klan rally. The Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, originated and birthed within the Democrat Party, within the Dixie Democrats. Did y'all know that? You think because the civil rights movement came in 1960s, all those white folks became they were no longer racist anymore? Oh, hell no. They didn't change. They just decided that they want to do covert racism while the Republicans who are racist do their overt racism. And that's what this movie Sinners was letting us know. The white people, the liberals who say, look at these Republicans here. They keep tearing out all these other races. They let you blacks are always building. You build phenomenal things. You create great music. We hear your stories. But what do they do once you get to a certain point? They take what you got. They burn it down. They kill your people and you're starting all over again. But if you come to us, you don't got to worry about that no more. This is heaven on earth. But why is heaven on earth got to happen in the darkness with them? Have you guys noticed that when vampires only come out at night in that symbolism? How come we gotta integrate with them at night? Because they're evil and the darkness, their dark evil can only come out at night. They even said it, like they're so evil, they can't even enjoy the sunlight that comes and beam down on us for a fresh, nice day. The husband, wife who were related to the KKK, so Dems are part of the white supremacy. Exactly, T. Orlando. Thank you. Exactly. They were called the Dixiecrats. Exactly, T. Orlando. This is true, but they switched sides with the Democrat. No, I got to correct you on Juice Worth the Squeeze here. Here's how this works here. White folks change parties like they change their T-shirts. Did you know that, Juice? They didn't go Republican and stay Republican once the Dixiecrats knew about the civil rights movement. I know white people to this day I've known them, grew up with them, whose parents voted Republican and Democrat back and forth for the last 20 plus years. See, white folks have the ability to say, I'm a Republican now, or I'm a Democrat now. They change their party affiliate the way they change their shirts. But for some reason, we've been sold a bag of bad lies that for black folks, we vote blue no matter who. So I got to correct you on that one, man. They go back and forth. They didn't just say, oh, they let these Negroes now get civil rights now. We're going to be Republicans now. Nah, Juice. Some of those Democrats said, hey, I will stay Democrat because this is my way of staying in Congress. This is the way that I keep my power. I'm just going to smile at these Negroes, or literally these niggers with a hard R. Right? Then, of course, you got the ones who do go Republican, right? But then they go back to Democrat when they find their candidate. Oh, I like this guy better because he's better on this policy here. I'm going back to being Democrat. And then they go back. Oh, I like this Republican here. You know how many folks that voted for Bill Clinton came and voted for George Bush? You know how many folks voted for Clinton in 92 and 96, but then when it came to 2000, voted for George Bush as Republican? That's what I'm talking about here. They didn't go to the Democrats, Juice, and then became Democrats. They are just two wings on the same bird. And that's what they were trying to highlight. Another point that I want to get into as well. The Smokestack twins thought they had everything planned out when they bought this, this barn and this plantation that turned into a juke joint and everything like that. And then when they showed like the forecast and everything, they said, okay, we're going to be ready. We got guns, we got money, we got alcohol to sell the juke joint here. So if any of these cracker ass crackers, KKK coming, we're going to shoot them all. But they didn't realize that these vampires were also part of the Dixie Democrats here, and they were planning from Jump Street. So even though they said we're going to plan on shooting y'all if y'all plan something here, they had guns waiting for them as well. So okay, they're saying that we're going to get them when they're not slipping there. They really pulled the banana in the tailpipe thinking, okay, we're ready. Just know that this is ours here. And you know what those white liberals say? We'll let you think that is yours. But once you get comfy and settled in, we're going to take it right on back, even though we tell you that the Republicans ain't got nothing for you. That was about at the end of the movie when they came to go take out Smoke after, in that situation there. Because they had already planned that if the vampires didn't take them out at night to make them part of the Boule class, to turn them into sellouts and to turn them to vampire slaves, because they need our soul, they need our stories, they need to survive because they don't have the numbers. Remember, the white vampires didn't have the numbers, just like the Democrats didn't have the numbers with Kamala Harris to win the election. So they need black people to build their numbers up to keep them strong, to keep them pushing, to keep going on. And if they can't do that, they're just gonna wipe us out. That was the premise of that. That was the part of that last part of the movie. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that if you watched it? They don't wear the sheets now. They sleep on them. Facts, Juice. Because you know why, Juice? They're not scared to hide their face no more. They're not scared to hide no more. They gone back and forth to both sides of the aisle here, guys. Now, Juice, you understand. They don't got to hide no more. They're just saying, hey, we're just going to say nigga when we feel like it. We just going to talk about you how we feel like it. We ain't our daddies. The problem is we ain't our daddies either, Juice. The previous generation of Gen X and the baby boomers is the reason why, as black folks, we're in a situation today allowing for integration to come in. And we as a collective society saying we ain't our fathers and we ain't our grandfathers. We're not selling just to ride with the front of the bus here. We're saying we ain't rocking with that no more. Can we talk about that clearly wasn't Haley's first time riding BBC? Okay, Tyrion, keep talking about it here. Shout out to the white girl, Haley. Haley Steinfeld in the movie, right? There was symbolism in that too as well with Stack in that movie. Michael B. When I say Stack, Smokestack, that's the twins. Haley being the white girl, but she was white, but you could tell like when they talked to her, said, what are you? And then she was like, well, my granddaddy was mixed. Right? But everybody else in her family was black, but she had to stay with her white folks. And she was the white woman that says, I don't care about those white folks. I'd rather be with you as a black man than be with anything else. And Stack was like, I can't be with you. If I'm gonna be with you because you're a white woman, I'm not safe and you're not safe. I'd rather marry you off to a white man and know you'll be safe and I'll love you from afar. It's gonna hurt my heart than marry you. Something bad's gonna happen to us. Interracial marriages there, interracial relationships in the early 1900s. Hey, those white folks that were down for the cause too. I know they say we can't, some white folks are the devil. They said, but there's white folks that's down for the cause. And during that time period, the white folks that were down for the cause, you couldn't be with them. As much as you loved them and it hurts you, you couldn't do it because you knew what you seen and you know what could happen to your family. Kamala Harris for 2028. I'm from the Human Party. Oh, man. Get Out is a key indicator to live too. Yes, Zeus. Yep, that too. They Get Out did have all those symbolisms as well. Civil rights groups used to help illegals and homosexuals. That was part of the theme too as well. That was part of the theme as well in the movie. I don't trust either party, either, not even independents. I'm only trusting the one. Like I said, you can't trust me Democrats. I'm here for the tangibles, Juice. I'm here for the tangibles. If I don't get tangibles, I'm going to sit my black ass on the couch again. That's what it's all about here. If I don't get my tangibles, I'm going to sit my black ass on the couch again. Hey, likes up in the building. We ain't got no supers today because of this conversation, but likes up in the building, guys. Also, another key indicator. Then you get to the basis of vampire movies, right, guys? Garlic, Stake to the Heart, you get into that stuff, so you get to the fighting scenes and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that, you seeing how, they were trying to go after Smoke's wife. There was a story and dialogue that they showed, Michael B. Jordan's character of his wife that he came back for, and he obviously lost a kid. You can see all the spirituality that his wife carried, with that, as far as saying, I'm trying to keep you safe, saying a little root work, and then you're thinking that it could be, voodoo or the case may be. That was the symbolism of our spirituality within the black community and within the black culture. When we saw Michael B. Jordan's, his twin character Stack with his wife, that is the spirituality that we have, not the religion, and how religion is a downfall for us here, because religion is man-made and about our spirituality. Let me see here. Sorry about that, guys. I said a lot, didn't I? But let me go back to my thumbnail. Is Sinners overrated? I had some people a little upset when I put that in the thumbnail. Well, what are you talking about is overrated? Let me say this here, guys. Is there any part in my conversation here that lets you think that I think this movie is overrated? Oh, hell no. This was a great movie. Movies that I normally don't say, I want to go see it again. I might go see it again this week. I might go to a matinee show. I might go either Tuesday or Friday. Know what I'm saying, Tuesday or Friday? I got days off work Tuesday and Friday because my nephew is finally getting his driver license, and I got to take him to the DMV on Tuesday. And it's so hard out here in Chicago to get a goddamn appointment, right? So we finally got an appointment for Tuesday. We tried to get it done the other week, but the school did not transfer his transcript that he completed driver's ed, even though he got his blue slip. So we got a 10 a.m. Appointment here, right? So I literally might go to the DMV. I have to. I'm gonna go to the DMV. Got to go early to get checked in. Go get his driver's test. After I get his driver's test, I got to take my car to the vehicle emissions test because that yearly checkup is up here so I can get my car checked out there. Then after that's done, I might go see it again as a matinee show on Tuesday. If I don't see it on Tuesday because the DMV may go a little bit longer, this is crazy. I'm saying this, I'm feeling old, guys. My niece and my nephew's going to prom on Friday night. My 18-year-old nephew and my 17-year-old niece, they're both juniors and seniors in high school. And they got prom Friday night. And I know how my work schedule can be because I'm actually on call Saturday. I got to work this coming Saturday here. And I'm saying, you know what, though? I don't want to mess anything up with prom right now. I'm going to take the whole day off on Friday so I can see my niece and nephew off. We already got the dress and her shoes. I took my nephew to get his tuxedo. We pick it up Monday. I actually got to pick up his tuxedo Monday after work and everything, right? So if it's not Tuesday, I'm going to go see it on Friday. You know why? The movie was just that damn good, y'all. What's going on, show? Enough salute to you, man. The movie was just that damn good. And I say all that to say it was that good because I'm not just saying it to be saying it. I don't go to the show. Hold on. I can tell you when the last time I've gone to the movie theater. Because, I bought the tickets on Fandango. Hold on. Let me go on Fandango. I can let you know how often I go to the show. Cali doesn't allow appointments anymore unless you are taking a driver's test or handicap. Yeah, well, out here in Chicago, you got to have an appointment to take a driver's test. Yeah, it's such a big ass line, a hassle. Like, I can't even get an appointment to get my real ID because, you got a passport. You don't worry about it. But yeah, Illinois is a little bit different. So, I saw Sinners, right? The last movie I saw before that was last year, July. I went to see Deadpool. I went to see Deadpool in July. I had to go see Deadpool, guys. You know what I'm saying? I went to see Deadpool in July. Then the last movie I saw before that was in 2023 when I had one of my New York trips and I flew in town on a Sunday to go see John Wick 4. That's how often I go to the show now. I literally have a movie theater right across the street from my house here that has an IMAX here. And before Sinners, the last movie I saw was Deadpool in the summertime in June, whatever, like that. What they say it was? It was July 30th. Then April 27th, 2023, almost a year and change earlier, that's when I saw John Wick. No, April 9th, I'm sorry. So yeah, man, I don't go to the show. So when I go to the show, it's a movie I really want to see. Hey, John Wick 4 is about that life. I don't care. If it's a John Wick movie, I'm going to go see it. I'm seeing John Wick in the show, guys. I'm seeing John. They make that ballerina movie. I'm going to see the ballerina when that comes out. They come out if Keanu comes back for a John Wick 5, I'm going to go see that too, right? There's certain movies, right? I doubt. I don't know if I'm going to see Thunderbolts. See, that's the issue we were talking about earlier. Let me add this point here. When they talk about movies in the red tier, Orlando, the TND, they're doing the John Wick spinoff about. Yeah, that's what I just said here. The ballerina, that's been in the works for a long time. That's supposed to come out this year, I think. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Yeah, I'm going to see Ballerina too. Oh yeah, shout out to y'all, the Ballerina. Those are the movies I want to see. What I'm about to say here. Yeah, so I don't go to the show that often, but when I do, it has to be a worthwhile movie. But like I'll say in the beginning here, it made $60 million in the first weekend. And we saw all those articles that were coming out, that saying it's going to make any money. You don't see these kind of hit pieces when Marvel movies are not going to do what's projected. Like when they came out with Miss Marvel, whatever it was, or Captain Marvel, and that didn't hit the projections. The white racists who hate the feminists came out. You saw that, but you didn't see that kind of scrutiny that they put on a black film. Like that's even worse when a Marvel movie doesn't hit its marks, because a Marvel movie will have over a $300 million budget, and then when you add advertising, you're gonna need about $400 million to break even on a Marvel movie. They were talking about this movie along the lines that it was a Marvel movie. Guys, a Marvel movie that does 80 million opening weekend is a bomb. That's a flop. They try to give it that same treatment when you needed 30 million to break even on the $90 million budget. That dude named Dave, John Wick, is going to be hunting the ballerina. Okay, that's what's up. Is it just me, or is there something about Florence Pugh, Yelena from Marvel? I don't know. Maybe just you. I don't know. Maybe it might be you, T. Orlando. I'll be honest. If Michael B. Jordan doesn't get an Oscar and Kluger for Best Script, that's what I was saying, Juice. I don't know if you came in late. I was saying that Michael B. Jordan should receive some Oscar nominations for this year, because he acted his ass off in that movie. The fact that we know who he is, he was able to play a piece of himself in 1932, play twins. You see the similarities, you see the differences, and then the interaction going back and forth, because when you're doing that kind of directing where you're playing yourself, of course you're gonna have a stand-in, but then you're gonna have the scenes where you gotta go back and forth. That's a lot of, just to get that going, you gotta shoot the same scene twice, because you're playing yourself. Yo, man, he sold that, Juice. He sold that. Says they might get nominations but won't win. I can see that too, T. Orlando. They'll throw us a bone every now and then. They'll throw the nomination. They don't want to see win all the damn time. They'll give us awards when the awards we're supposed to win. Like, for instance, Denzel should have won Oscars many, many times over. As much as I love Training Day was not Denzel's best role. I love the ninja in him, but there is so many other roles that Denzel should have got the Oscar for, but they gave to him for Training Day because he was playing a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? You see how that works? Or we see Halle Berry when she got the Oscar for Monsters Ball, basically getting her back broke by a white man and Billy Bob Thornton and make me feel good. They would give us Oscar nods for that, basically, when you're not playing the roles that they want to see us in the best light in. You know what I'm saying? Denzel had better lighting moments. He should have been the best. He should have won it all outright in Malcolm X here outside of Training Day. Plain and simple. Most movies these days are woke-ish. Yeah, Jurgen. Yeah, it is. Especially Disney. That's what I'm saying with Marvel. Especially with Marvel. Marvel and Disney is heavily woke. Quote, woke. And the ironic thing is? Woke got hijacked from us. When we say woke, we were waking up from the oppression. We're waking up from all the symbolism that come across here. We use the word woke, and then white folks co-opted it. And then we was like, yo, we ain't using woke no more. You see how black folks, we stopped using woke, guys? Woke came from us, okay? It came from us, and they hijacked it, and we just said, no, y'all can have that ish. The way that the white society hijacked it, woke, and then, because know what happened? My first year on YouTube, I literally had people in me try to call me and say, you woke something. And I literally said, oh, is that code word for calling me black? You racist. I'm blacking folks here. I thought that was cool, right? And then you see, now do you see black folks using woke anymore? Matter of fact, there was a show on Hulu called Woke, with a black actor. I can't think of the guy's name, but he does those commercials, I think, for like State Farm, not State Farm, like Prudential or something like that. I can't think. But he was like, like a suburb type of brother, and it's like, based on like woke, and he understanding certain things about black culture and things of that nature. We done TV shows when we talk about black folks as woke, and then how the white dominant society has taken that word and then they try to put it on us. But we said, nah, we're so cold in our creation. Y'all can have woke. We ain't gonna keep that one. Woke was for us, hijacked it. We gave it to y'all. Exactly. Did you see that, Kareem? Yeah, facts. I hate how they hijacked it woke. Exactly, man. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Trill? Hijacked 100%. Exactly. Hijacked 100%. They took that from us. They straight up took it from us, So let me get back to the beginning here. Lamont Morris, thank you, Juice. Yeah, you saw that show then. Yeah, I mean, it was quirky. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. But you understood what they were trying to do with the premise of that TV show. A white guy, he kind of corny, he a little lame, but he's still a black man. He's still a foundational black American. And then you see the issues that someone's like, woke and being black and the police and things of that nature. And all of a sudden now, what happens? You see the whites, and they say, I'm woke. You know what I'm saying? We got to take care of the immigrants. We got, it's like, nah, black folk. That's why when they hijack woke a couple years ago, that was the beginning to end right there. We was like, all right, we done now. Woke is for us. And then all of a sudden, y'all gonna say, we just walk away. We was like, y'all can have that word. You don't see none of us claiming woke no more. Mistaken identity. You don't see us claiming that no more. So let me go, bring it back. Is Sinners overrated? Hell no. I'm already saying now, it's only April. Guys, is this the last Sunday of April? As I'm recording this live stream here? This is the last Sunday of April, which means that we are 1/3 through the year 2025, y'all. 1/3 through the year, man. This year's going by fast already. Remember we said we're at the end of 2024? Here we are now. We got 2/3 of the year to go, baby. This is going to be one of the top movies of the year already. There'll be more movies that come out in the summertime and stuff like that. But to have only an 8% drop off on week 2, I'm curious what the drop off would be for week 3. Because once this movie's in week 4 of the box office, at this current rate, because we're about to go into week 3, after the end of week 3, we're going to be over like 200 million. And then by the time that you get to like the end of the first month, that's when movies are now added to streaming. I know with my cable provider with Comcast Affinity in Chicago and Chicagoland, after a movie's like out for a month, you can rent it for $24.99 on demand. That's when you're going to see people who says, okay, I'm not going to the show, but I get to sit in the confines of my own home. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order it on demand, right? So you got that audience where you get the streaming numbers, right? Once you get to month 2, then they're going to bring the price down. Then you're going to be able to rent it for $19.99. We see here in Chicagoland with Xfinity. You can rent it for $19.99, or you can buy a digital copy for $24.99, or you can go to the store and buy a physical copy after 2 months. So then once you get to physical sales, and then the streaming sales after month 2. Once you get to month 3 and beyond, then it all depends on if it goes on Netflix or Amazon Prime or HBO and Showtime, things of that nature. Guys, I'm just going to put it out here. These are not aggressive. These are conservative numbers. By the time we get to the 6-month mark, so we're saying April right now, the movie dropped, and we're going to get to October. So we get to the theater release, the early streaming on demand, then the rental streaming, and then the buying, and then the fourth. And then at that point, then when the movie gets licensed out to the other affiliates there, this movie is going to be north of $300 million worldwide before Thanksgiving. I said it here. Before Thanksgiving, this movie will make north. Theater release, ticket sales, on-demand streaming, rentals, and then things of that nature. By the time we get to Thanksgiving, conservatively here, it's going to be north of $300 million. And that will be Orlando will be in the black. And then once you get to that point where you in that black status, the good black status, we already know then that's when Warner Brothers will come to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler says, hey, Ryan, hey, we got 300 million this year. Sequel. How do we do a sequel? How do we do a sequel with so many people killed off? Or like what me and T. Orlando said here, how about before we get to the sequel, prequel? Prequel. Give us the Smokestack Twins. You know what? Michael B. Jordan's character, while I'm talking about that here, he said something very profound while he was talking to his little cousin, playing the guitar, because he's a sharecropper. He was a hard worker who, tells him to play the guitar and everything like that. And he was able to go ahead and pick cotton and get his quota done faster than anybody else. And when he was talking to Stack around the car, he's like, I want to come with you. I want to leave this here. I don't want to be a sharecropper no more. I want to be up north where you was at. I want to come to Chicago. I want to be in the big city and play my music. Want to do what you want to do, cuz. What did Michael B. Jordan's character say? Chicago ain't what you think it is. Skyscrapers are just tall plantations. It was a gut punch of a line that they focused on that, but didn't focus on that. If y'all saw the movie, did y'all remember that scene? I want to go to Chicago too. I'm done being a sharecropper, cousin. Play my music. Chicago ain't what it's cut out to be, man. Those tall buildings are nothing but tall plantations. Them skyscrapers, nothing but tall plantations. And you know what? Deep down inside, I already knew that. But to hear someone from a period piece in the South say it so simple that when I hear that, I'm like, man, that hits so hard. The South has its own physical, like had the plain plantations, but when you come up north, you don't have that farmland. You have them skyscrapers, you have them buildings, right? The North has its own plantations, and the South has its own version of the plantations. Kareem says, I want to see what Stack and that white girl been doing for 40 years. See, you beat me to it, Kareem. That's why I said I didn't know if I want to do a live stream on this or I just record it and just be straight up with this, right? Because I did want to have a conversation with you guys. See, Kareem, we've literally, because Ryan Coogler owns the rights in 25 years. I know, Juice, he owned in 25 years, but in 25 years, you're gonna own it all. So if you make if you make 2 or 3 movies, and then you can parlay that to other success. Yeah, Sinners first, right, T. Orlando. But think about that. Let me go based on what you said, me and you said, T. Orlando, and what Kareem said. You literally can have the one prequel, the introduction, which I know Ryan Coogler already thought about that, when they were first on the plantations. Because the movie was in 1932 when it was based on, right? So you know what that means? You could have the original prequel start somewhere in the 1920s. Hell, in the 19-teens for crying out loud. Depending on how far you want to go back, right? You can have that where the Stack twins, especially old white girl Haley Bailey and how her character plays in with Stack, how Smoke and his black wife, how, you saw him and, Stack, Smoke loses his child and then leave, you can see and then the storyline of them going to Chicago and with the Chicago mob and then whatever they show little symbolisms of them ripping off the mob and coming back to Chicago. So you literally could have a prequel of the Stack twins as kids growing up with old white girl, and then, leaving that behind, going to the war. I almost forgot about that too. They were in the war, guys. So you literally can have them go to the war, come back to Mississippi, then go to Chicago, and then come back to where you start that off, right? That could be 1 or 2 movies by itself, right? That's the prequel. Then if you say, okay, let's get to the sequel, like what you said here. What was going on with Stack's character and old white girl Haley from 1932 to 1992, right? 60 years. Remember, the movie was based in 1932. If you saw the end of the movie, and I got to tell y'all this, if you didn't see it, I know there's some spoilers here, but I didn't go into the nits and crannies of the spoilers, but you literally got 60 years because when you saw Stack, remember he had the 90s jacket on, had like the 8-ball leather jacket. Old girl was dressed like she was Salt and Pepper at the end or like TLC. So you literally could do the sequel of the 60 years from 1932 to 1992. I literally just gave y'all a total of 3 movies now. The prequel, the current movies out, and then those 60 years. Man. Prequels and sequels. Says, the movie with Anthony Mackie, The Banker, is no example of it too that do today. Oh, for real? Okay, you know what though, Juice? I have not seen The Banker yet, but I can't remember on what streaming service that's on, and I think I saved that. It's just so many movies, Juice, I haven't got a chance to see that. But I do want to see that though, man. I do want to see that. Says, they have literally said that Ryan Coogler has made his own genre. He got it now. Oh yeah, he got it now. Yeah. Spin-offs of the Choctaws and the Vampires. That too, T. Orlando. Man, y'all beat me to the punch. Oh my God, y'all beat me to the punch. You know what, T. Orlando? Let me give you that one there. Oh man. And then if you want it, you can do the prequel. Within the prequel, you know, to keep the vampire theme, if you guys remember the Choctaw Indians who were chasing after the white vampires. The Choctaws were trying to take out the vampires. You see, I didn't give you that part of the movie. You literally can add that part of this prequel or the sequel where you still keep the vampire presence in there with the actual native cultural Indians, AKA also part of the foundational Black Americans who were fighting the white vampires, who understood they can take them out during the day, but at night they had to go back home. Oh my God, man, hell yeah, y'all. And this Juice says, Dave, tell the story of how they killed their dad in Chicago and going to war. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that shoe. Yeah, exactly. Like, you literally could do 2 movies on a prequel. You literally could do the prequel on their growing up. You could do the second part of the prequel when they're actually in the Chicago mob. You could break that into 2 different movies. And that don't even gotta be one movie. You know what I'm saying, Juice? It don't gotta be, you could literally do the prequel, you know, up until the war. You can do another movie when they're with the mob, and then you can do now the sequel after 1932. You can do a sequel from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s up until the 90s. By him owning the rights, I bet you he already thought about this. I could do a prequel to early foundational Black Americans, the sharecroppers. Matter of fact, he could easily do a prequel of the in the 1800s with this here. If you want to go into that liner, because in his interviews, he talks about, I know I made Black Panther for the overall Africa universe like that, but this is the 100 years of me being a foundational Black American and understanding the 100 years that we have in this country here. He made a point in interviews to say not only foundational Black Americans, but the lineage of the last 100 years. Banker's a banger. Okay, T. Orlando. I got another one. There's of the story of how Smoke Wife says she heard stories about vampires. Juice, everything that we're saying here, they could be movies, or if you want to even go even further, take it to Netflix, take it to Amazon Prime, and then create a 10-episode series. You could do a combination of the movie and the series too as well, and make it 10 episodes, and the 10 episodes of the prequel can lead all the things we talked about. There are so many ideas. It all depends what Warner Bros. Want to do, right? It all depends what Warner Bros. Want to, when this run ends, Juice, when this run ends, T. Orlando, when this run ends, chat, tribe, family, at this point, then Warner Bros. Is going to come out and says, we want another movie. We're in the black now. What you got in line, Ryan? You see how Ryan talk with that thick ass Lamont Sanford mustache, right? Well, we talking about the 100 years, of the foundational Black American experience. I think we need to go back a little bit further than 1932. I think we need to go back to the 1900s. I think we need to go back to the 1880s. So I'll catch the playback, but Ninja listening. Shout out to you, Pooh Man. Like Them, which took place in the 50s, and the second season took place in the 90s. Yes, Juice. Matter of fact, you don't even got to run a movie. Like, if you could do it like a running series for the prequel, but then you make a movie for the sequels. Because the prequel has so much background just by understanding Smoke and Stack now. Because one of the things, Juice, and T. Orlando, if y'all remember, they had a reputation. So, remember they said, you ever heard the Smokestack twins? Remember, and then that little kid was like, yeah. Well, I'm Stack. Everybody was scared and shook of them. Give us Lovecraft Country. You know what, Derek? I was so upset how HBO canceled Lovecraft Country, whatever, after one season with, was it Jonathan Majors in that? It's ironic though, Derek, right? That we're talking about this in a series like that there, and how Lovecraft had that, it has that same similarity as well. And it was successful, had great ratings and had great reviews, and how when we do something like that and they take us off the air like that. So for him to own the rights, he has to be able to say, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. You're not gonna cancel me. If I do this in the series, you ain't gonna go ahead and cancel me after season 1. So maybe Ryan Coogler may go the movie route because how would he like it if he owns something and then as soon as you do it, order a series and they cancel you after season 1 and then you got to shop it to somewhere else, So, man, I'm going to pause right here for a second, guys. I want to ask y'all, I don't think it's overrated. The chat, matter of fact, my bad, shout out to the Ninja Watchers. And shout out to the replay gang. I didn't see that in the beginning because I got right into it. But let me ask y'all, the people in that chat here, before we get out of here, you guys see how I like the movie. I'm going to go see it again. I'm going to see it twice. I'm going to support mines. Here's the thing. I don't support black just because it's black. I support it because not only because it's black, but it's successful and it's a good quality of work here. But what do y'all think? Ninja Watchers. If y'all out there right now, come in the chat before I get out of here. What did y'all think of the movie? Did y'all like it? Replay gang. I know y'all, if y'all watched the live chat replay, but y'all can come in the comment section. What did y'all think of the movie? I'm curious here. What did y'all think of the movie? I don't think it's overrated, y'all. See, if you understand about YouTube and content creating, I had to create a thumbnail to get y'all emotionally invested to see. Like, if y'all know me the way y'all know me, you really think I'm going to say Sinners is over? You think I'm not going to like this movie? Hey, what's going on, Stuart? Stuart in the building. Thank you, Stuart. We got I've been on for almost 2 hours, and we got the first super of the afternoon here. Hold on, let me go ahead and go over here, right? Make sure I do this here. All right. Shout out to my man Stuart in the building. He's always showing love when I show him when he comes through here. Stuart's coming in with the $9.99, $10 holla, putting that yellow in the chat here. And you see what Stuart did here, right? No questions. No comments. Hey, my man Stuart, you dropped that for the straight love of the game, baby. My man Stuart, salute. Thank you for the holla. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right back at you with the super. Thank you, Stuart. I'm going to leave that on the screen right now. You're the first and only holla right now because y'all ain't showing me no love because I'm not talking about banshee-ass women. Y'all support the money. Y'all throw money at me when I talk about these women. It's all good, though. Thank you, Stuart. All right. Let's get it on here. I'm going to leave you up there, Stuart. Thank you for that holla, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, it goes a long way, guys. It goes a long way. Kareem says underrated. I agree. Trust says don't come with those wallow talking points. No. Hey, Trust. Wallow's a tether. Isn't Wallow? I mean, Wallow. I know everybody says they black, but doesn't he come from like Egyptian background or something like that? He a tether. We ain't never gonna hear me say those wallow talking points, right? Because hey, when it comes to black businesses, I support black businesses. My thing is, I just don't want someone telling me I have to support black just because it's black. I'm not doing that wallow crap. I just don't want people telling me I gotta do it because it's black, right? Because I do my homework. Because reason why I'm saying that here is because I got into a similar conversation about, what was it now? It's 2025 now, Trust. Was it 2017? Not LaMelo Ball, but when the first Ball brother, he plays for the Bulls right now. I'm just having a brain fart, but it's for there's LaMelo, there's Jello, and LiAngelo, Jello, LaMelo. I forgot the other one that played for the Bulls, right? When he came out of UCLA and he got drafted by the Lakers before, he got traded and, signed the Bulls, right? They started the Big Baller brand. Remember that, Trust? When the Ball's dad, LeVar Ball created the BBB. And I was going to the black barbershop at the time, right? And this one shop I was going to, and we was having this spirited discussion how people were trying to tell me I need to go buy the Better Baller brand shoes. And I said, hell no, I'm not buying his shoes. There's like, Dave, I see you rocking Louis Vuitton. I see you rocking those other designers. Why you not gonna buy these shoes? I said, I don't know if these shoes are quality shoes because I have not seen any reviews on how good these shoes are, number one. And number two, I think the shoes are ugly. Just because you got a brand, I gotta like the brand. I'm not just gonna buy it to spend money, So I told him I have a personal relationship with that. I gotta like what I'm buying, right? LiAngelo, thank you. Yeah, I gotta like what I'm buying here, right? if I like what I'm buying, I'm going to support it, right? But I just can't support it just blindly. I'm not like Wallow saying, I'm not just going to support it because it's black. No, no, no. I just need to know more information of you. But I will say this, Ho Trust. Hey, I live in the suburbs of Chicagoland. When I find out there's a black, there's a soul food restaurant, and you best believe I don't need no goddamn reviews. I'm gonna go there. I'll be the review my damn self. Hey, yo, I was telling yesterday, Sheila was here in the chat yesterday. I said, I live in Aurora, Illinois, right? I drove the hillside just to get some goddamn soul food. Drive 30 minutes just to get some goddamn soul food, some cornbread, some cabbage, some macaroni and cheese, some banana pudding, some bread pudding, some catfish, you name it. I'm here for that. I'm just saying, like for any other product, I'm not going to blindly support it, trust, but I'm not going to go out of my way to denigrate it like Wallow did. Hey, what's going on, Roderick from Bermuda? You in Miami right now. Shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Juice says, Dave, on the clickbait. It ain't clickbait. Hey, Juice, let me school you on this content creation. It ain't clickbait unless you talk about it. You two told me that when I first got started. Clickbait is when you make a thumbnail of something, and then when people click on the video, the thumbnail has nothing to do with the video. What I did was not clickbait. I asked the question to incite an emotion. And that is what content creation is about. As long as you create a thumbnail that creates emotion, you're not lying, and what you had in the thumbnail is related to the conversation, it's all gravy, baby. So I got to school cats on that. I'm not saying I'm schooling you, Juice, like that, but it's not clickbait though. People get clickbait wrong. You see, if I said is Sinners overrated, and it's a question mark, and I'm saying it's not, and then I keep coming back to it, say, is it overrated? And I answer that question. You see, what clickbait would be here is that if I had a picture of Michael B. Jordan saying, and I saying, I'm gonna do a full-fledged Sinners review, and you saw the kind of review I gave you here. I didn't give you a full-fledged review. I gave you an overview and then talk about analogies of the overview. You see, so when it comes to clickbait content, you never get me on that. But the thumbnail has to be proven true of the talking points, and it's got to express emotion. Queen Sugar is another good show. I did watch Queen Sugar. They actually use real last names from people down south there. When I say from Hazelhurst, Mississippi, and the one dude, Remy Newell, my mom's maiden name is the Newells. They were using actual real last names of people's families in that show on Queen Sugar. And the one light-skinned dude, the bald head, I can't think of his name right now. He was the light-skinned brother in that show, Juice. But his last name was Newell, and my family has, the Newells are in that area. So I did love Queen Sugar with all that was going on because they actually used the context of people who live down there. He speaks with vitriol and contempt against our people. Yeah, he does, Trust. My thing is, I'm not going to say I'm not going to support black. I could say like, hey, I'm not going to support unless I can't go there to support without knowing anything. He had vitriol. He had anger and animus in that interview. Remember, Trust? I'm just saying, I just say here, I just don't tell me to support because it's black here. Let me do my homework. But if it's a black restaurant, I don't need no reviews. Hey, if you tell me soul food, I'll be there to take a look. If I walk in and it smells bad, I'll walk out. You know, let's see here. Yes, the shoe's the brand. The oldest son stopped wearing them because they messed up his ankles and feet. Exactly, Juice. That's why I was telling people in the barbershop, I said, this is a product that I just can't just buy willy-nilly. See, like now I'm at a point now where the shoes I buy the same shoes over and again because I know how my feet feel towards them. And that was the conversation I was saying. I would never denigrate the way Wallow did. My thing is, just don't push me to buy something because it's black. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Does that mean you never say, oh, F this because I said it to go buy black? You know, it's like, no. I say, hey, man, let me just get a little bit more information before I go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because just because you black and you made it don't mean I need to buy it because you may not be in my demographic of purchasing power, you know? Louis Vuitton and Gucci has been exposed by China. No need to waste any more on that bullshit. Yeah, no, they were saying that to me, Trust. But I didn't buy Gucci like that all the time or Louis Vuitton. I had like one thing that I bought, right? And I spent so much money on that. And after I bought it, I had buyer's remorse. I spent all this money on this crap here. You never saw me buy nothing like that ever again, right? But they saw me with that one piece of article. It's like, Dave, you buy Gucci and Louis. I'm like, I buy one thing that I even have buyer's remorse on. And y'all gonna say that's all I do is buy that, you know? Lonzo, thank you. Lonzo Ball, thank you, General. Yeah. Those designs come from an African tribe they stole from our people. All right. Let me see here. Dave, I know, bro, my bad. I know, Juice. But you know what, Juice? I'm not you, but I'm doing that for the people out there as well. Because you'll be surprised, Juice, when people, I get, you know, just like you understand being a content creator, making content in the past, stuff like that. I have people that reach out to me saying, why you doing this, you doing that? I was like, nah, do you know anything about and I got to give that definition, right? And the reason why I give that definition too as well, Juice, like my boy JD was on yesterday, right? One of the things that we didn't talk about from our old show, one of the things that demised our old show is my partners did not understand, and JD would tell you this too, about the art of creating thumbnails. And like they would say the same thing too. My guy's like, that's clickbait, Dave. I was like, no, it's not clickbait. I said clickbait is if we make a thumbnail that has nothing related to the video. I said if it's related to the video, it's not clickbait. As long as we talk about it and we discuss it, it's not clickbait. I said, if we could have an hour-long video and if the thumbnail is 15 minutes and we talk 45 minutes about something else, that's not clickbait because we talked about it. We just happen to have a second conversation point here, you know? So it's not about you, Juice. I just tell that because I get a lot of commentaries like, you're clickbaiting. It's like, you don't even know what the hell clickbait means. Get a dictionary for crying out loud. Baby gravy. Hey, that wasn't clickbait, T. Orlando. That was, hey, I read the text. Remember, I read the text that day with the baby gravy. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. I read that with Shannon Sharp and this lawyer with the baby gravy. That I actually changed my thumbnail, T. Orlando. I had baby batter initially. Now that would have been clickbait technically because I didn't use the right words. Hey, T. Orlando, the first thumbnail I said baby batter. Then I was like, no, it's baby gravy. So the first thumbnail I made would have been technically clickbait. Yes, we off, dude. I was just talking. I don't buy everything black, but I don't stay in the public. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, man. I still wear lugs, Crocs, Skechers, and Fila. God damn. I haven't worn, oh Lord. Man upper, man, I haven't rocked those in a minute. Trust says, Levi's, Lacoste, Polo, Nike, Ray-Ban frames, plain brands, no logo. I hear you, man. Yeah, like, I don't need the logos anymore, Trust. Yeah, like, come on, Trust. We old right now. Like old. We're middle-aged. Who we impressing right now? If the stuff is clean and I can make it look good, man, who cares if it's got a logo on there? The no logo means more money in my pocket, and I still look good. Right? Trust, we understand that. We don't need if I buy something from Nike and it just happen to have the swoosh logo, hey, it is what it is because there's some good Nike products, you know, but hey, man, it is what it is. So that's why I spend money on car parts and just like Al Bundy. Hey, Sean, if I ain't mad at you showing up on that one. Hey, the car parts, I ain't mad at you on that, man. I want to do some more rework on my car. I ain't mad at you on that. You use Skechers for your work shoes? That's what's up, man. And you say, I use Skechers for work as well? Okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah. So, okay, guys, you know, so I'm glad we had this conversation about Sinners. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Not overrated. Great movie. And you know what, too, guys? We got to call how we called here. Ryan Coogler's one of the best directors in the game right now. Right? How come we're not having that conversation right now? The movies that Ryan Coogler has made consistently since the first time I saw him from Fruitvale Station. Since the time that we've seen him from Fruitvale Station until now, can we say arguably here, he's in the running right now for top 5 best directors right now. I'm not saying all time. I'm saying right now, if you said, hey, you give me 5 directors that's going to make a movie and you say, will it be good? You put Ryan Coogler in that mix. At this point right now, his resume says, oh, we got it, we got to go see it. And then when you add the caveat that whatever movie he makes, him and Michael B. Jordan are like this. So if he's going to have a great script and direct a good movie, and he's always going to have a damn good actor and Michael B. Jordan running the lead character here, yo, man, they might have a good run for the next 10 to 20 years. So can we honestly say Ryan Coogler's one of the top directors in the game right now, and that at this point right now, if he makes something, we need to be on code to say, hey, he's making something legit, and we got to support it, especially when he is openly saying in interviews, this is for foundational Black Americans. This is for our culture. This is for our people. This is I want to showcase to the masses. What is your take on why the white chicks with Stack screamed when Smoke took her out? I want to see if you think as I do on that. Let me read that back again, Juice. What is your take on why the white chick with Stack screamed when Smoke took her out? Wait a minute, hold on. Let me read that again. Your take on with the white chick. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Haley Stanfield. My bad. Okay, I want your take on the white chick. Haley Stanfield with Stack screamed when Smoke took her out. Oh, I see what you're saying here. Thank you. When Smoke took out his wife. Okay, Juice. I was about to walk out. Got it. Okay, guys. The question that Juice has here is, what was my reaction when Haley Stanfield, the white girl with Stack, why did she scream in discontent when Smoke had to kill his wife after she got bit? Because if you remember when they had a conversation, she told Smoke that if something happens to me, you have to promise to take me out so I don't turn, right? So let's backtrack here. So because Juice is typing here. If he was talking, I would understand from the jump street here. So if you remember who did see the movie, Smoke's wife, who was a symbolism for spirituality as well. Because the way that she talked and the root work that she had in the house and things of that nature, she is the example of spirituality and not religion, right? But then, you saw her fighting, and let's fast forward, now they're fighting. She took out a whole bunch of vampires. She took out a gang of vampires, but then she finally got bit, right? And then, when Michael B. Jordan didn't want to take her out, right? And then she was like, you know what you got to do. And then that's when he didn't want to do it. You can see it. And then he finally killed her. And then that's when Haley cried and screamed, right? Well, that part, Juice, I might be wrong on this one, but this is what I thought about this here. Number one, they are technically family. They are technically family because that was, even though they were not married, she was with Stack, and that's like, so in a sense, they grew up together, and then Smoke married her. So in a sense, that's like a quasi sister-in-law. Even though they weren't married, that's like a quasi sister-in-law. But she had so much power. She had so much she had so much major spirit in her that someone like that could be turned could actually be a future leader. She saw her as somebody, as family, that could actually be a bigger leader in the resistance, because you need the blackface. You need the cosplaying chameleon to integrate from the Democrat liberals to showcase, like, look here, here's a strong Black woman. Here's a strong Black woman we have on the Democrat side here. We got to support this here. We got to support this Black woman. By taking her out, you lost a key, vital movement into what you're trying to do, because how much power that she had. Because that Black woman that was Smoke's wife had more major spirit and was stronger than any of those white vampires, especially if she turned with her root work and understanding the history and the science and how she was able to keep Smoke protected. And there was one part where Smoke said, you was able to protect me, but how come you can protect my child? And then they couldn't answer that question because they had a baby that died that was very young. But she had that root work, that major spirit, that she said that she was praying in a degree, using that spirituality to keep him alive all these years while he was in the war, while he was fighting in Chicago, doing the mob, is able to come back. I think it was the plan was to have her and Smoke join her and Stackson join it. Yes, I was about to get to that. You beat me to it. Remember they kept saying we'll all be one big family? That's why I was getting into that. I was getting into that too. If you have both Smoke and Stack, who everybody knew, like, they were scared of them. Like I said, remember Juice, remember I got come back to this. Remember her, the Smokestack twin? That look like, oh my God, the Smokestack. Well, I'm Stack. So imagine you had two of the baddest guys who are military trained, and that the area, though they've been gone, recognizes who they are. They were stronger than the white vampires. They were stronger than the white guy vampire leader, stronger than all of them. You literally needed that for the movement, Juice. You need strong black men for the movement. You need strong black women for the movement and the resistance of the Democratic Party. And them being that strong black family bond, you bring them over and then you can take everybody out. Because you see that strong unit and they're the forefront, they're the chameleons, they're the cosplaying that say, hey, look at them, join us. Because when you saw Cornbread, they didn't want to join. They was like, what's wrong with Cornbread, right? What's wrong with Cornbread? But you know, if you saw the Stack Twins, Smokestack Twins, people would join along too because they wouldn't want that work. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That if you have Smoke and Stack with Smoke's wife, you literally could create the resistance that what you need with the example of the Democratic Blue Party, vote blue no matter who. And when you have that strong black unit and that strong black woman, because when you have that strong black woman that's helped leading that strong black man, the white man can't do anything with that there. So if you bring them over to the side of our side, we know that we can take out everybody else because they're the ones that make the movement go. He said, yes, sir. Okay, so Juice, are we on the same page, Juice? Because that's the way I saw it. Like, when I go see it again, I might see more to add on to that, but that's what I saw. A strong black woman who understood spirituality, and with her husband, that could be the true leaders of their resistance once nighttime ends and daytime begins. They were the true resistance. They wanted Sammy for his stories. They needed Smoke and Stack and his wife for the resistance and to build the army that is needed. So many symbolisms, so many analogies we can go into that there. You know what I'm saying? Check out the rock stars' take on Easter eggs. Okay, I'll look into that now then since I just did my comment. You know what I did, Juice? I didn't want to hear anybody else's analogies, or I said I watched this movie and then I took it all in and I'm going to say my own words. Anything that you heard me say in this live stream, I went to saw the movie on Friday. We're doing this live stream on a Sunday here. I did not watch anybody else. I didn't read any other articles. This is all from my own understanding. If you guys think I'm wrong, then we can have a conversation about it. No problem. You know what I'm saying? But I will check that out, Juice. I will check that out. I'm curious now what other people think now. Because, you know, I did that with Get Out. I had my own ideas, and then everybody had their things on Get Out, and we all kind of pulled together, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to see what everybody's thinking about as well. You know, it says, I'm about to watch the new Rockstar's take on it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm fresh out. Yeah, T. Orlando. Hey, y'all. I told y'all how much this movie was good. T. Orlando hit me up. He's like, I'm going to 11:30 show so I can go pull up on your live stream to talk about it. So shout out to you, T. Orlando, man, supporting the cause, man. You saw it early enough so you can pull up here. But that's the way I thought about that, Juice, because she was a strong character. She represented so much symbolism, and if you could convert a person like that, yo. When you understand the analogies, when you have that strong black woman, hence a la like a Michelle Obama type, right? Hence like a Michelle Obama type where that you get a strong black woman presence like that, a married woman who understands what he understood, and then if you're on the right side of the right party, white folks eat that all day and twice on Sunday with the Democrats. I literally left the theater minutes ago. Oh, for real, both of y'all then, Juice, because T. Orlando went to the 11:30 show. And so both of y'all just got out, man. Shout out to both of y'all supporting the movie. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Yeah. Yo, that dude. We said, yo, that dude, they put outside because they thought he was bitten with, yeah, Juice. Yeah. That was too funny. The dude was, hey, yo, there was one scene. There was one dude that was passed out and they thought it was blood on the floor. It's like, yo, get this dude out before he turns. They threw his drunk ass out. Juice. He woke up. He was like this. Hey, man, I paid my dues. Let me in. Let me in. I paid my dues, man. Why you doing me smoking stack like this? Let me in. And then Cornbread came and tore his neck out. And then remember the Chinese couple? The Chinese dude was like, come on, baby, I got the car. Let's go. And that Chinese wife was like, don't you see he's killing him? The Chinese guy was like, oh, yeah. Come on, let's get in the car. Ninja, you a vampire too. Hey, both y'all went to the 11:30 show. Hey, T&D, what about the similar of dying while piping to Becky? Hey, man, I didn't want to get into that, T. Orlando. I didn't want to get into that. I touched on that a little bit earlier. I touched on that, but okay, this is going to be one of the last few points before I get out of here, because this is not going to be a full 3. We're at 2 hours here. We're going to probably end in about 10 minutes or so. T. Orlando, I was looking at the point when I was talking about Stack and how he was saying that, remember she was like, I didn't want that white man. I want to be with you. And remember how Stack was saying that I can't be with you because I can't protect you in so many words. There'll be so much harm that can happen. I'd rather see you from afar than get hurt. Woody, woody, woo, booty, woody, boo, right? Because you can't be with no white woman in the 30s like that with all that kind of trouble going on. Right? So Stack, for so long, held on to his own personal beliefs that no matter how much he loved Haley's character, that he couldn't be with her because he knew it was going to happen. But when she became one of them, the way that she talked to him, remember what he said to Orlando? This ain't you. Remember he said, this ain't you. Her being somebody else brought his defenses down when Becky was over here riding on him, and he wasn't right. He wasn't used to that kind of Becky. He known girl his entire life. She never did no stuff like that. That tells you when a Becky got a plan, she can take that black Negro out when she wants to. When she was her normal self, he was able to walk away. When she put that bada bing on him, he couldn't resist, and Becky took him out. So yes, guys, we can stand true to our convictions, but when Becky decides that I'm gonna move out of character and I'm gonna move like a sister of a white girl, a brother can't resist it. And when a brother can't resist it, what happens when the Becky got the wrong mantra, got the wrong idea? We die from Becky influence. Them booty clapping capers I call it. It's called BCC. That's what happened, guys. See, when she acted like a normal white woman who understood the black experience and she was cool. She understood and she was like, okay, I can't fight him. I understand it, but I want to be with you. She was fighting. Remember, T. Orlando, I want to be with you. He was like, no, I don't want to see you dead. And all of a sudden, when Becky turned into the true Becky, she turned to Karen Becky, and he couldn't resist it. She was like, man, oh, girl moving like a sister now. She was riding it like a sister too, right? Brothers can't resist a white woman who rides it like a sister. And then once his defenses were down, bam, that was the end of Stack. Hey, man, you gotta be careful about these Beckys who act like sisters, y'all. You gotta be careful about the Beckys who move like sisters. They'll take us out every single time. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Anthony just came in the building. They said that's some crazy ish that's going on with Smoke. Yeah, man. Nah, he said, nah, he just hungry. Said, I'm gonna be scared to death next to my Papa Becky. Hey, T. Orlando, why'd you stop messing with Becky? Hey, guys, if we find out that T. Orlando can only come out at night, the Beckys that he's messing with had bit his ass, y'all. Hollywood trying to sabotage Ryan Cool. Yeah, they're trying, Anthony. But you know what, though? As of today, right now, the projected numbers are 161.5 million. On a $90 million budget, and with advertising and promotions, they say that they need about a 170 to break even. You're at 161 now, which means you need $10 million. I give them Monday and Tuesday to get past 170, and Hollywood can't say a goddamn thing. By Wednesday, they will be in the black and full profitability, man. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Said, do you smell that? Juice. Delroy Lindo. I just think I smelled my shat myself. Hey, man. Yo, he was like, I think I shat myself. Shout out to Cornbread. He's like, I shat myself. Hey, that was funny, man. I was cracking up, Juice. Yeah. He says, at Dude Dave, not Mitchell. Don't want to be like Mike. Hey, man. He said, that scene almost made me yak in the theater. Hey, man. The way they bit the neck. Remember you saw Snack? He's like, yo, Stack. Thought she was dead, man. He lost a lot of blood. And he grabbed his neck, and you saw like this big old chunk, as big as my fist. It's this big old hole in his neck. He gonna go put on his vest. Yeah, man, lost some blood, but I'm good now. I was like, yo, you got this big ass hole in your neck. He talking about, he gonna get a jacket. I'm good now. And he said, that type of Becky love is powerful. Facts to Orlando. That Becky box will get you every time. So I wonder if she bit him once and he busted. Hey, I don't know, Juice. That was powerful. That's all I got to say. I'm like Boondini. I can't quit that pork. Got them GD white women. I can't. What's the reference to D&D? You talking about Ali? 2001? Hey, T. Orlando, was that 2001 Ali January movie release? Come on, man. I can't quit the pork. Goddamn white women. I can't. Ali? Can't quit pork, can't quit white women. Jamie Foxx and all right. Hey, it's almost made me yak when Becky. Yeah, I know. She was like, he was like, come on. He was freaky with it. He's like, come on, spit at me, baby. Hey, that's what T. Orlando said, right? T. was like, hey, T. Orlando, hey, he can spit on you anytime, right, T. Orlando? Jamie Foxx and all, hell yeah. Hey, man. Oh, man. Hey, I gotta say this here. For it to be like a thriller, horror, vampire movie, the comedy lines, the comedy relief, the shots in there, hey, they had perfect timing, y'all. It's not a comedy, but the spots that they had the comic relief for were perfect timing, you know? You was about to bust stop it. That hawk tour. Y'all gotta stop, man, talking about that hawk tour. Oh, man. That hawk tour. Hey, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Hey, yo, this is not a full live stream. I mean, this is a full live stream, but I'm not gonna do like 3 or 4 hours. This is the Sunday pull-up. You know, this wouldn't have been this long if I didn't have y'all participation. This has been like an hour and a half, but by talking to y'all, we moved this to 2.5 hours. But I didn't want this to be like a full, I just wanted us to talk about this today. So, bruh, the filming was dope. To the way he filmed. Yeah, that's why I was, hey, Juice, when you get a chance, go back to the beginning of this live stream if you want to watch the part of the replay. I was talking about the imagery, the visuals. You don't need no lighting. It was just the sun and that Mississippi land. You know what I'm saying? The visual, the cinematography, the panning of the cameras, just, you know, when you shoot it in certain, you see the colors and everything. Hey, it was dope, man. It was dope. I talked about that within the first hour of the show. Yeah, man. Jason Allen is a lucky man. You stop it, T. Orlando. Jason Allen's a lucky man. But check it out, guys. Let me get out of here. Thank y'all for listening to me on my take on Sinners here. You know, it was a different kind of review. You know, because if this movie had been out for like a month, then I would have did a blow by blow by blow. But this is the second weekend. I just want to kind of do like an overview analogy type, if that makes sense, guys. So I'm glad y'all checked in with me here. Said that pan, the grocery store, and the sheets in the back. Yes, sir, Juice. So, man, thank y'all for checking me out here. Y'all know what y'all can do here. You can, guys, comment, like, subscribe, and click on that bell notification below. Hey, guys, y'all want to support the channel, you guys don't have to give me cash apps or supers during the show here. If you guys want to show y'all love from the Ninja Watch or the Replay Gang on off hours, drop that love. And on the next live stream, I will give y'all the TD&D salute, man. So thank y'all for coming through this afternoon, man. And we'll probably be back on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm changing up a little bit. Even though if I can't do 3 hours, if I can do an hour, hour and a half, I'll just come and pull up. We'll come in and out. You know what I mean? But on that note, guys, I'm that dude named Dave. I'm TD&D. This is TD&D Live here. And if you guys want to drop your comments, not in the live chat, but in the comment section regarding Sinners, go ahead and drop that. Maybe we'll do another Q&A, another live stream. But on that note, I'm out of here, y'all. Deuces.